everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Alignment Shift. How is everybody doing tonight?
All-consuming rage.
For those wondering,
Arnie has taken a couple levels in Barbarian.
yes,
Zealot.
Valid.
also known as driving,
Or drive-thrus.
drive-thrus, all the above. So, while we wait for him to get home, we do have a special-ish announcement tonight. I have composed yet another song. We've put some of our artwork to it, and we're going to roll it as a kind of intro. So, roll the clip.
There's that.
You'll find
We're
out.
live now.
Now we should.
That should-
Okay. I almost wish we weren't muted during that because that was entertaining.
The conversations in that were great.
So, let me know what you guys think of that intro. Give a like and subscribe. I don't know. Anyway, so I have been asked to do a recap going over the previous events leading up to tonight's episode. So, long ago, this world was one of tumultuous and chaotic forces, naught but unbridled fires, and churning saw-like rocks made up its substance. Through the ashen skies, the creation primordial. The gods came... Wait, that's too far back.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Hang on here. Let me
Carry
put away
on.
the...
Please.
Oh my god.
So...
We started by walking into a tavern.
Oh gosh.
That's what
What
I
we
did.
did.
A druid, a monk, and a paladin walk into a bar.
Wow.
Actually, more
So-
that I think about it, our adventures in this world actually started like Skyrim.
Oh, you were all in
finally
prison.
awake. No, we were all in a wagon.
All right.
We were
Anyway.
traveling.
Anyway, so rewinding a little bit more, not more, less, rewinding less. The party has been in the search for powerful artifacts that were pointed out by an arcane map in Drina, the sleepy fishing city south of Whitestone. The map located 4 altars from a prophecy mentioning 4 altars deep forgotten lie, lost to time's cruel winds. In searching them out, Vale came to find that they are the location of the Wraps of Dimac, a lost monk artifact, partly associated with the Platinum Sanctuary in Bahamut, and, as we have recently learned, stained with the blood of Bahamut's enemy, Tiamat herself. Making their way southward on some unscrupulous information gained from a chain devil to the location of them just north of Tsarum and south of Singorn, they made their way into the jungle. Some intricate alliances were tentatively made and promises made to grand poobahs, and monk traditions were upheld in the jungles, which led to the inner sanctuary known as the Temple That Time Forgot. Inside, they found traps, undead creatures, and horrible, just nasty, destructive forces keeping everything in the world at bay. Expecting the worst, they came upon the now lich form of Diamak himself, a tiefling whose horns had grown inside his own head and effectively sewn his mouth shut in a forced vow of silence. The battle ensued. Diamak was defeated, though several members did fall in the process, but were revived. Diamak went down peacefully, allowing his defeat, and even folded the wraps gently and placed them next to the unconscious Vale upon the ground, wherein he dissolved into a pit of bubblegum-colored acid, courtesy of Sapala. After reading his leather-bound journal on his throne, it was discovered that Diamak was not entirely evil, and in fact was more of a neutral party who grew tired of the constant struggles between deities and had resolved to lock himself away in his temple. However, the exterior battle during the calamity led to waves and waves of necrotic energies killing his people within the temple. His mad scientist advisor, known only as Withers, devised a plan to harness the necrotic energy and use it for dark traps that the party had encountered that would keep their place safe, so a little bit of evil to fight off more evil. And in the end, as Diamak was beginning to fade even further and succumb to the necrotic energy, Withers proposed using what they had stored to turn each other into liches.
George,
To
stop what you're doing.
Is that audible?
That's audible,
Yes.
very.
Sorry.
to
Mute
prolong
yourself.
their lives or their undeath, to continue to protect the wraps of Diamak and indeed this entire temple. So, the party discovered inside the temple, inside the very throne room, a very similar portal to the one in Drina that teleported the Tincture of Taldore away from them mid-battle, and also looked to be very similar to the one in Whitestone that had been destroyed after the cultists had left nothing but rubble behind, including the ziggurat, which had been destroyed. So, figuring out how this portal worked, requiring the blood of someone royal or of noble descent to be completely drained by someone of good nature, using an artifact known as the Solar's Feather upon this altar. Laura volunteered, much to Elena's protest, whom even ran forward and slit her own wrists with the wrong dagger. Quite comically, in my honest opinion. But the portal was opened. The phylactery, which had been discovered to be a iron scepter in the adjoining tomb, was begun the process of being destroyed, but not quite. As they were destroying it, they realized the temple was going to collapse around them as they did, so they quickly ran through the portal before completely destroying the phylactery of Diamak. And now is where I get to the part I actually read up on. So, you all teleported, feeling the familiar sensation of transportation magic that you had felt through Gilmore, and even in some ways Shadow Steps in Xavier's Dimension Door, a very similar loss of complete self for just a moment. And as your eyes cascade through the darkness, you see in front of you a massive, glowing, bright gateway. Something that you've only heard described and never thought you'd see in your life. The divine gate that separates all mortals from the heavens. The gate comes whooshing towards you. You brace yourself for an impact that never comes. You pass harmlessly through the divine gate. Opening your eyes on the other side, you're in the middle of a room. Can you turn that down just a little bit, honey?
My God. We're in Cal's house.
Sorry, my wife is watching TV in the background. You find yourself in the middle of a room. All the stone around is this dark, almost wet-looking gray color. It warbles and pulses unevenly around the room as though more organic than rock, yet stone it remains. The image of the divine gate still burns in your retina. And as you blink, you realize it's not burned into your retina. Looking out through a massive window, you see, suspended in an endless void, thousands of miles away, the divine gate standing tall, in person, across from this tower that you now stand in. The silence weighs as heavy upon you as an all-encapsulating presence. Every scuff of a boot upon the cold stone floor echoes as loud and abrupt as a gunshot in a grave. As your ears attune to the inescapable deafness, your eyes turn to the room around you. The smooth gray stone walls twist and bend their way up to an enormous ceiling, like the walls of a cave worn down by centuries of water. Like a forest of massive, thick vines that twist and intertwine each other, spiraling toward an apex of a tower, wherein a large half-sphere dome inverts downward. Above you also you see the lifeless bodies of Percy, Vex, Keyleth, Scanlan, and Pike. Their forms drift slowly around the room some 20 feet above the ground, hanging limp as though dangling from invisible strings and swaying from some unperceivable wind. In the center of the room is a small pedestal with a blue crystal-like object on top. On the pedestal there is a dial, which I will not continue to read, and the crystal appears to be held by what look like stone tentacles. And that is what the party sees.
When you said lifeless, it's just appearing or seemingly
You're dead.
lifeless.
One would have to get a closer look.
Can I just, Elena just wants to like drop to the ground and just like silent tears right now.
But how far up are they?
About 20 feet.
Who
Do
would
it.
Who would be the closest one to me?
Let me roll a dice and find out.
Oh, right. It's D6.
It's
Elena,
Tiberius.
you have to pick her off the ground.
Percival, Frederickstein, von Mr. and Rollo would be the one
The third.
hovering closest to you at the moment.
I'll fly up and basically medicine check, see if he's a...
Loot the
Okay,
body.
roll a medicine check.
Cabal's ruin is now mine.
That was funny.
Oh shit, I forgot medicine.
Yeah,
is
Elena's not
It's
looking.
not intelligence.
Oh no, I'm watching, but there are silent tears.
He might as well be dead because I rolled a 1.
Yep.
As you come up,
But it's a 2!
as you come upon the corpse of Elena's father, you see his head rolled to the side, his eyes closed, the skin ashen pale. He looks dead and has no life to him whatsoever. If only you knew how to check for a pulse or anything. But
Not with that roll.
You have no idea.
She goes up, sniffs. Oh, no.
I think he's gonna need a second opinion.
Push him down here.
I'm...
Oh, hold on. Let me Xavier, from your vantage point, make a perception check though.
I don't trust that die now.
Is there any way up to like I don't know
17.
without flying?
There is not.
there a way?
As you're up there and looking around, however, Xavier, what you do see, the walls are lined with 5 archways. Above each archway, you see white energy seems to leach from the stonework where the portals were and climbs its way up the tower, turning the gray stone into this bright, vibrant white. Above each archway, you also see writing that from this distance you cannot read. But three of the portals are destroyed. You can see they look to have been hacked, or 2 of them appear to have been hacked away from the inside, as though some force destroyed them from the inside. The one you came through, as you look at it, flickers and pulses and seems to be in the process of being destroyed. One of them is completely unlit, and one of them is open and active.
Jesus Christ.
Can I do a perception check? Or just like
Yeah. Go ahead and make your perception
in
check.
my panicked, tiered, like need to save parents.
I'm gonna fly down and grab Sapala. Like you're better at healing people than I am, and I'll gesture.
Grab who?
Onto my back.
Don't say that
You.
loud enough till later.
All right, so Xavier, you fly down and pick up Sapala. Make a strength check.
But she's 35 pounds.
And you have a very low strength.
I have an
not that
average
bad.
strength.
I'm 38 pounds.
Sorry.
Ooh.
Do not duel with the DM. You will lose.
I got a
15.
24 perception.
All right, I'll come back to you, Elena.
Okay.
Let's go.
Rolls another 1.
Oh, he did. All right.
Really?
No, I'm bringing you up to him for you to check his health, because I'm shite.
I
Roll a medicine check, Sapala.
got it.
I would say I would try to give her advantage, but I think since I already made one,
Okay. Okay.
Xavier's just holding Sapala under the arms, just
it's just on my shoulders.
pointing her head.
That's
So,
that's a 24.
Okay. You're actually even a little bit familiar with this state that Percival is in, having checked yourself, Grog, back during the Winter's Crest celebration. You can see that there's a very, very faint pulse and very, very shallow breathing. However, there is no response. He is comatose and has absolutely no life in him. As the people in Whitestone had come to the realization, there appears to be missing a soul within this body.
That's not like my dad hasn't dealt with that before.
you didn't need it.
Elena,
Right.
with your perception check, you see the glowing pedestal in the center of the room, and with that high of a perception check, with your roguish eyes attuned to keeping an eye out for hidden traps and hidden objects, you do see a slight depression in the wall where everything else is a smooth stone that flows organically and seems to have been organically placed. One part of the wall is square and perfectly 90-degree edges on each of its corners and looks to be a slightly exposed button about 1 foot by 1 foot.
Can I go investigate said button to figure out where it might go?
You can certainly try.
Just ignore my cat in the background.
Never.
26.
Okay. Yeah, as you walk across the room and go over to the button, you take a look at it and look around for what it would activate, and you do see, much like the button, in the smooth, almost rolled stone floor, there is a section that is square, and you would imagine that this button would activate a trapdoor here. That would either be a trapdoor, you're not sure what it would do, but it would probably open whatever square opening this is in the floor.
Alright. I wanna go investigate the pedestal to see if it's any connection to the dome that's holding my parents.
Okay. What are you going to do?
Was that a stroke? I thought she was gonna
I
She
want
might
to
get.
Why do you think we're standing back here?
Well, yeah. What is actually since we just did Elena for a moment,
Yeah.
what is everyone else doing?
Um,
Well, Doris is trying not to panic right now.
How,
Oh,
where is
panic.
that like the orb that's like held up by tentacles?
that's right in the center of the room. That's what Elena is heading toward now.
Can I float next to it and start casting Identify ritual?
Sure. Okay, you can start casting Identify while you're ritually casting Identify for 10 minutes. Oldores, make a perception check.
Mic check.
We hear you.
Check, check.
Who's
I'm here.
Mike and why are we checking him?
He's real sketchy.
This is AJ. This is AJ. I'm shot in the door and don't know what to do with my rage now. Somebody paid for my meal for me, so I don't know what to do with my anger.
I have a 9 total.
9 total. That's not bad. As you're sitting there, you don't see the pedestal. You don't see the open gateways around. You don't even see the divine gate. Your eyes are to yourself. Your eyes are to your shadow, looking for comfort, looking for familiarity. This is far beyond the realm you wanted to go, far beyond any world you wanted to see. And as you shake to yourself and look for comfort in your shadow, you notice that your shadow, it's really visible. Like almost three-dimensional. And as your eyes attune to its dark form against the wall behind it, you realize it is not projected on the stone as often your shadow is, but standing about a foot away from it, corporeal.
Well, this isn't the first time he's seen it that way, but this is definitely a striking thing that usually happens, or when it's striking when it does. It's the odd occurrence. What is it doing and or looking at, or can I tell if it's just the nature of this place affecting the way he appears or she appears?
With how low your roll was, you didn't quite notice, but as you strain to find out more, you begin to approach and get closer to your shadow to try to make out what its reaction is, what's going on. As you approach, its eyes open toward yours, and you see bright purple eyes piercing through the shadowed lens that is cascading from him like a haze of fog that comes off dry ice. As you approach, you see it twitch and shift, almost as if it's losing its solidity. You see half of its form bend to the side, screaming in agony as the other half stands perfectly still, staring at you. It twitches and shifts, stuttering and shakes as though glitched. Holding its head, it opens its mouth in a silent scream.
Okay, I'll stop writing a horror movie.
No, keep going. I love it.
What's wrong? What's going on? What's happening to you?
As you say that, it just drops to its knees, and you see as it drops, the main form comes to the ground holding its horns as a another shadow-like entity from within it stays standing where it had been moments prior. This one, less corporeal, less fluid, more as you're used to it being just a shade, a fog in the air, but this one is staring unmovingly toward you, Oldores. And I need everyone in the room to make a Constitution saving throw.
No, jeez, more things.
Wait, let me just double check. Did we rest at all?
Yeah,
Nope.
we short rested.
We short rested.
Oh yeah, short rest.
We did a short rest in the last room after
And then
finding
that's-
the ooze.
And then that's when I
We're all next to Bernie, so we all get.
And that's when she
Yeah.
Actually,
we
probably
got
not.
two hit points.
7 hit points, and I rolled
Well, that was your own fault.
6. So that makes a 7.
How large is this room?
Minimum 100 feet tall.
Well, I'm not that like walking around like.
From the center, 15 feet to each wall, so about 30 foot by 30 foot. Actually, well, no, it's not. Okay,
15-foot radius area.
yeah, so 30 feet all the way across.
Okay. So probably me and Elena are probably only ones away from the party, so away from Bernie. Everybody else gets +4 because of Bernie's aura.
That is correct.
Okay. What did everyone get?
17.
What kind of save?
Con.
I got a 19.
I got a 7.
I got a 14.
Okay. Oldores?
I got a 14 as well.
Bernie?
Still
Bernie is standing pretty with a 31.
31. Bernie, you are the
Dang.
only one affected, or only one unaffected. I'm sorry, unaffected. As from this shadowy entity, there's just this.
A 19 fails?
There is a boom of energy that comes in and sucks all the sound out of the room, and then cascades outward. Everyone takes 14 points of necrotic damage.
Well, I'm down.
Wait, a 19 fails that? Damn.
A 19 fails that.
Oh my god.
I don't.
Heck.
I wish you had told him that because only succeeding with a 31 was hilarious.
You said 14 points?
14 points.
Elena goes down.
Rip.
And
Shouldn't have cut your wrist.
as this happens, this figure comes rushing forward, almost staggering, glitching forward. Its leg moving, but then it's all of a sudden 4 feet ahead of where it had been a second ago. It takes a step forward and is back 3 feet, almost teleporting back and forth, running toward Oldores. As this
Doris readies himself.
okay, it is going to make an attack at you.
As soon as
Attack it first.
I have
Right?
summoned my pack weapon,
Okay.
and as soon as it enters in the range of me, I immediately get an attack.
Okay, make your attack.
Eat it before it eats you. It's the only way.
Tis the only way.
This is the way.
29.
That'll hit.
Are you sure that doesn't have to be a 31?
It's 7 points of. Wait a minute. Doing this wrong. Hang on. 9 points of.
Death.
Okay. 9 points of damage. All right. 9 points of damage. As it comes running towards you, you slash through it with your scythe. Its hand comes towards you. You slash all the way through its arm. The smoke fades through, but its hand just stays hovering in place where it had been. It just reaches forward and touches you on the shoulder. Let me roll to hit. And I roll a natural 1. So with it first, it comes to touch you, and you just instinctively take a step back, not letting it touch you. Its second strike, however, will be a 20. Modded 20.
Modded 20. I'm going to use shield.
As it goes, its other hand comes towards your chest. You put up your hand, it pulses off this aura. And as it does this, suddenly another pair of hands come up behind it. Similarly dark and shadowed, and you watch as the screaming form of this shadow entity grabs it from behind and pulls it away from you, and they both fold into each other onto the ground and begin this writhing tussle in the darkness. You can't tell who is on top, who is on bottom. They into each other, out of each other, hands and extremities pulsing together until finally it just coalesces back into one form, shaking in the fetal position on the ground.
This is fine. Eldoris?
Yes.
What the hell?
I don't know. I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't like it either.
You know,
How do we go back?
Just when you think you know something, you know? This is supposed to be my thing.
Oh, Elena, death saving throw.
Oh, jeez.
Can I walk over to the shadow
Yeah.
and I'm gonna cast light with my staff?
Okay.
See what happens.
So you tap your staff on the ground, and light emanates around, and it passes partly through the shadow entity, not seeming to injure it or harm it in any way, but it definitely isn't fully corporeal, but more solid than you've ever seen Eldor's shadow. Even when he's used it in epic ways, this is tangible.
As I feel that energy and I see Elena drop, can I go and try to stabilize her?
You can try. Elena, what'd you get on your death saving throw?
You're muted.
You're muted.
It was a 13. I succeeded.
Okay.
Alright. Medicine check.
Yep.
God, why am I fucking making these?
Do it. Do it.
That is a modded 20. 19 plus
Okay.
1.
So you stabilize her. She is not conscious, but stable.
Alright.
Need some help with that, Xavier?
Sure, I'm not the best at patching wounds.
Lay on hands. I give her 5 points of health.
You press your hand into her chest, and this white energy.
Wait, how do you have lay on hands? I thought you used it all on Sapala.
Yeah, you dumped like 45 into Sapala.
But we haven't long
We had a
rest.
short rest.
We haven't. Oh, does it come back after a short rest?
I thought it did. Does it not?
I don't.
That's
I
good.
don't.
Yeah, comes back after a short
Absolutely,
rest.
it does.
Look it up.
Class features.
I should know this
Look
because
it
one of my players is a
You know-
paladin and asked this exact question on Wednesday.
Bernie's lay on hands.
Bernie's touchy-feely.
Long rest.
Long rest.
Nope.
Oh.
Oh, well,
Xavier,
So-
why do you have to ruin everybody's fun?
All right. So Elena is at 0. Elena is at 0 hit points, but stable.
Can I cast Cure Wounds on her?
If you have it left.
I do.
I feel like she has a lot of spells left.
True.
I do. I have a lot of spell slots.
She's very,
Right.
very frugal with her spellcasting.
I am.
Okay, do we know for a fact where we are?
We are in the Divine Plane.
Oh, 1d8.
Well, I mean, before something hit me, I was attempting to identify what that is up there, the pedestal
And-
on that pedestal.
Yes.
So it's gonna take.
Oh, and as the necrotic energy pulsed into the walls, you watch as some of the white energy continues up the tower a little bit. Some pieces of the stonework crack and fall off like plaster from a crumbling building, and you watch as large chunks fall away and crumble to the edges and corners of the room. And you see beneath the stone a slimy, pulsing, almost living-looking substance beneath the stone.
I mean, are we looking at
Oh.
Ghostbuster slime?
No.
Okay.
No.
Hey, DM, 13 for Elena.
Okay, 13 points for Elena. More like exposed muscle.
That's worse.
All right.
Eldorus, is this gonna be a problem?
This is what's going to be a
The
problem.
shadows?
I'm trying to figure that out.
This is your shadow?
Half of it is. I don't know. While this is going on, he's going to try and see if he can. He's going to hone in on the connection that he's always had with this shadow.
Mhm.
From the tumultuous day when it first made itself known to him, all the way up until now, and he is going to try and connect with that and see if he can somehow use that to pull this entire entity under his control.
Okay,
I'm standing by in
make a charisma check.
case this goes really
Yeah.
badly. Because I have a plan.
Did you attune to the raps yet?
No.
Oh. Do you want me to identify them first?
Make sure.
17.
17. You bend down on the ground next to your shadow. I'd like to know how you interact with it.
Give it an apple.
Here's a tomato.
Here's a tomato.
How long have you had that?
Better yet, a shadow tomato.
Pocket bacon.
So he's like trying to. He makes eye contact, or tries to. And while doing so, he lays the packed weapon on the ground between them with his hand on it. For as long as I can remember, you've been at my side. You've been with me. You have guided me. You have empathized with me in my loss, in my anger, and in my fear. And now I feel like you are torn as I am. I don't know how much of you is you. But you seem to fight against yourself. Divided. You are not alone. Pull yourself together. And join me.
Its eyes focused on you, both intent and almost pleading as you speak to it. You watch as the shivers and pulses through its form that seem to attempt to escape slow, get less violent, and then become rarer. It takes one hand, reaches out toward you, puts it on the ground between you, puts another one down between you, and gets painfully toward its knees, kneeling on the ground in the same position. Raising its head toward yours, it shifts time painfully facing toward it in silent horror before going back to neutral, and then stands in front of you. And gives you a nod.
I pick up the packed weapon and I stand up and I look at it again. You have been my strength for a long time. Let me be yours. We need each other.
It looks toward the pedestal in the center of the room, Xavier. And let's shift our attention over there.
I'm really
Xavier,
not sure what I just watched.
Xavier, you were casting Identify, yes?
I was, then I...
Are you casting it again?
I would have cast it again, yeah.
Do the thing.
Okay. Do the roar. All right.
Do the roar.
So 10 minutes pass, and as the 10 minutes passes, Xavier, you all become very aware of your surroundings in here, the silence. And about 7 minutes into him casting this spell, you begin to hear outside a sound, which has been rare in here and been only caused by yourselves and the portals and the walls cracking and this creature. Something outside is making a sound. Does anyone go investigate?
Elena's unconscious, good.
No,
I'm awake.
Elena's conscious.
I'm awake.
Not for long.
And a little
Dragging her half-dead body into the doorway.
Go sleep, go sleep, go sleep, go sleep.
Oh,
I
damn.
go investigate it.
No. You have
13
Someone's
hit
got-
points!
heckin' points. If you waste those, I'm not healing you again.
Dang.
I'll go with her because buddy system.
All right. Vale and Elena, you make your way over the
I'm
edge of the
gonna die.
window that was looking out over at the Divine Gate. And only
I
then
just
realize.
realized I was muted.
Oh, sorry, Bernie.
Yeah, I was saying like 4 or 5 times that I'll go check it out.
Okay. So Bernie, Vale, and Elena, the three of you make your way over toward the window. And you realized you were in a tower by the structure and architecture of the building that you are in. But upon reaching the edge of this windowsill that looks out into an inky, black, rolling void, do you realize that you are at the apex of a tower that is miles above the ground? You see thousands of feet below a dark stone ground, and on this ground you see tents, fires, buildings, torches, the swirling masses of an army encampment beneath this giant gray tower in the midst. And below you hear voices crying out, the sounds of battle cries. Someone down below, you can't make out the words, it is too far away, too distorted to hear, but someone is giving a rallying speech to troops below the tower. And Xavier,
Yes.
as they're doing that, your spell comes to an end. So, what you have here is very powerful magic of multiple kinds. I'm going to give you, because you know I'm not the world's greatest DM. I'm the world's okayest DM. It has illusion type magic tied to it, as well as whatever type of magic would be able to capture and contain soul.
Probably necromancy.
Necromancy, and also a little bit of divine magic as well.
Divination.
Okay.
Okay.
Very, very thick divination magic, very powerful, as if it's an artifact granted by a deity itself. Now, I can't remember. Does this spell allow you to see everything it can?
Well, identify gives me the property, or it tells me
Okay.
what the item is and what it does. It doesn't necessarily give me the schools of magic used by the magic, or the types of magic it gives off. But detect magic lets me see all the different auras of schools of magic.
I had it backwards then. Okay, cool. Well, then you just learned those for fun.
Alright, flavor.
This is a soul trapping device, a soul siphon, and it also seems to have a. It's kind of a deity level greater illusion spell. Oh,
Hear
and on
lots
the
of humming
pedestal,
from over there.
and on the pedestal, as you're looking at it, you see that there is a dial that is placed around it, and you see the three symbols from the cult. The one for the Ruiner, Orcus, and Tiamat, and the dial is currently turned facing Tiamat.
Do I learn how to unsiphon the souls and give them back?
You do not. You do not learn how to do that.
Oh.
That'd be too easy.
DM.
Yes,
See, Paula needs to speak with Elena.
Sapala can speak with Elena.
So I go over to her and I tap on her arm. I guess I'm short, so. And I say, Elena, I need to speak with you in private.
Yes. All right.
And so I pull her to the side. So, two things. First of all, get your crap together. Stop sacrificing yourself. Okay?
trying.
You hear me? No, there's no trying. You're gonna do it. And then, second of all, okay, well, there's 3 things. Second of all, I'm not gonna tell you something. You need to just chill for a moment and listen to me. Okay?
Grabs your shirt, pulls you down, and smacks your face. Listen.
You
Okay.
ready? Take a deep breath.
Take 1 point of damage as she slaps you.
In
It was
and
a
then
joke.
out. Okay. So when I went and checked on your father, he is alive. He's not dead. So they're alive.
You see like a rush of like relief go over Elena. And
But
then-
do you remember when I went and checked on Grog when we were in Whitestone?
Yes.
And I told you that I could not reach him?
Yes.
Your they are in the same state. I can't reach them. Which means they're probably not there.
What do you mean not there?
I mean they're not asleep. They're not
Okay.
dead, but they're not asleep. Don't freak out. The only advice I can give you is that you have to trust and have faith that we're going to get through this and that we're going to save all of them, okay?
Okay.
It may be hard and it may be difficult and we're going to cry and we're going to get beaten up probably, but we're going to get through this and we're all going to be right here with you the whole time. And I swear on Tal'Dorei, if you heckin' sacrifice yourself like that one more time, I am not kidding, I will not save you. Okay, I might save you, but you need to
Yeah.
heckin' get your crap together because you're a leader. And you may think that you're not, but you are. Okay?
Elena
There are
just whispers, or mouths to herself, kind of essentially that, like, what if I didn't want to be saved?
Say that again?
It doesn't matter.
But you need to listen to me. There are people who look up to you, maybe in Whitestone, and you may not even realize it, but there are people who rely on you. And if you heckin' die, they have no one to rely on. So get your crap together and be a heckin' leader that I could be proud of.
Okay.
Thank you. And I give her a big hug and then walk away.
After I figure out the orb, 1, does it look like it can be picked up out of the pedestal?
It looks like it's mostly by the probably tried off the tentacles, and take it.
You
off
were
the
cutting
pedestal.
in and out there.
He said
It looks-
pick up the tentacle.
It
Do
looks like
it.
it's surrounded by the tentacles, so you would have to try to snap off the tentacles from it in order to remove it from the pedestal. Rather large, the size of a basketball, and unevenly cut.
Well, good news is Vox Machina is alive. Bad news is they don't have souls.
Can Elena kind of be staring off to a wall and just kind of essentially, like, kind of prayer, but not a prayer, be like, Raven Queen now would be, like, an awesome time to help.
Yeah, you sure can.
Then after that, I will fly up to Scanlan.
Mm-hmm.
Can I try and pull
And
him?
loot his body.
Sure.
I pulled
Make-
me the
Yeah.
out of that.
Skeletons
Um,
and shit.
Make a strength check.
Okay. So I went for the gnome. That doesn't wear heavy armor. I'm not rolling that. I'm rolling the Elena die. Come on, away, Mace. Hey, 19, because it's just straight fucking dice roll.
Okay. So as you
Yeah, buddy.
pull Scanlan by his stubby gnome arms, you get about 5 feet as he glides with you, no resistance, until he appears what feels to be the end of a thread, as though dangling from an invisible. And you pull and tug, and there's this kind of give as he is released from whatever hold is keeping him in the air, and he suddenly falls completely limp, and you have to catch yourself
It's a
as
little
you,
heavier than Zapala.
as
Okay.
you fall down about 5 feet from where you were hovering.
I will slowly hover down. Help! Help! He's heavier than I thought. As I slowly float down on the ground. And no one helps, so I lay him on the ground.
Uldoris will Uldoris will
Oh, no.
reach out to help as you get closer.
Thank you. Thank you.
I
So it seems like it's not extensive magic holding them to the wall, or whatever's holding them.
Is it wise to pull them down?
Did anything seem to change in him? Like, did his body...
Not necessarily. Make a perception check.
I will aid if I can.
You can look around too, but you cannot aid.
I will look around too.
It's hard to help someone see things.
Look over there.
19.
My contacts.
19.
Yeah, I got
My brand!
Where are my glasses?
Puts hands in front of eyes like binoculars.
Can't-
Can you see better now?
What'd you get,
Legolas,
Eldoris?
what do your elven eyes show you? I got a perception. 8.
8. Okay, so Eldoris, you're just concerned with helping him bring Scanlan down. Xavier, as you bring him down, you do see this kind of very faint, trailing energy that kind of seems pulling Scanlan toward the rock in the center of the room. Like a blur effect that's kind of distorting him slightly in that direction.
Where I landed, how far away from the siphon is he?
You're like 10 feet from him.
Can I... Oh, Doris, help me with him.
Of course.
Pick him up and move him closer to the siphon.
Okay. You begin to bring him closer, and this effect that you see him
Slowly.
the blurred image of getting closer and closer to the siphon seems to be intensifying and
Intensifying and what?
intensifying as you get closer. It seems to be sucking toward him.
Is this like that mirror? If we smash that orb, will they all
So
come out?
something is... So it's pulling out stuff, this magic out of him?
You're not sure. It just seems to be drawing him toward it.
I'm not sure if smashing it is wise, especially if it has multiple souls in it. Do I probably won't know because it's probably more necromancy, man.
It is necromancy.
I wouldn't know that much then.
Xavier, did you share what you found out about the dial?
I would have, but I'll share it now. I'll share the 3 different symbols on the dial. The current one's pointing to Tiamat.
Okay. Do I know anything? Have I heard anything about this thing?
No. Make a well, yeah. No, as a cultist, no, you did not.
Make a cult check.
Make a cult check.
It's not a stat. It's a 0. Well, now I want to play with it, but
Can I
Is
just start panicking and just like walking around the room looking and like just trying to figure things out?
Elena is angrily pacing the room, wringing her
Not
hands.
angrily, panicky.
I'm gonna walk over.
Different.
You have to calm down. Take a deep breath.
Can't.
Okay, then this will help. I cast sleep.
thank you.
wow.
She's a half elf. She's immune to magical sleep.
I am.
Oh,
I know. I wanted it
And-
to work too.
you wasted a spell slot.
Actually, no, it's a free spell.
Oh,
I
Don't.
slap him and walk away.
Take 1 point of damage.
Can she hit me though?
I cast sleep.
Anyway.
I still have first level
Uldoris?
spells. I can shield.
So while Uldoris is there, as Xavier just kind of walks off towards Elena, Uldoris kind of sighs, and he's trying to take in this contraption that seems to have an effect over the rest of the Vox Machina. Is there anything I can do to deduce how?
How it works?
Yeah.
Make an investigation check.
I'm proficient with those.
Just wanna
It didn't
break
really
it.
help me at all.
Hey, I'm good at
14.
those. Shit.
14. That's not bad. As you come up toward it, you see the three symbols of the betrayer gods on equal 33-degree angle, 33% increments around the edge of the pedestal. Currently pointed the scaled tyrant. And as you get closer, you feel this kind of drawing toward Crystal, and looking at it and looking at Scanlan, you feel this connection between yourself and the Crystal and Scanlan. I'm not sure just by looking at it what you'd be able to do with it. You know it has to be interacted with.
I got an idea.
How drawn am I to this thing?
I mean, you're not compelled. You just kind of feel the power emanating from it, and the typical draw of the unknown.
And you said there are like tentacles wrapped around this crystal.
Yes.
Are they reminiscent at all of any of my magic?
Similar.
Okay.
But
Uldoris.
very, as you were there at Ground Zero, also they are also very similar to the tentacles that grabbed Keyleth and dragged her through the Sun Tree.
Hmm.
How many tentacles are there?
Tentacles?
Five?
Tentacles?
Tentacles.
It's a slow burn on that one.
It was.
Boo.
And there's 5 members of Vox Machina here.
No, I take that back. Then there's 7.
7.
So it's not a direct correlation.
It is not a direct correlation.
Ah, okay.
Dang it.
Debunked.
Damn, we were so close.
I got an idea. Probably nothing will come of it, but you never know.
Sure.
So, I will pull out one of the wraps of Diamac with Tiamat's blood on it.
Punch Scanlan.
Yeah, no. I want to press one of the bloodied portions of it to the crystal.
Okay. So as you come up to the crystal and place your hand even with the wrap on the crystal. Let me see here. How many of you guys do we have? 1, 2,
shit.
3, 4, 5, 6.
Sorry.
You're perfect.
Me this time.
2. Well, that doesn't work.
Did I forget to mention I drank a potion?
Okay, perfect. Xavier,
Oh,
as she
God.
places his hand on the pedestal, there's
Hers.
a brief her hand on the pedestal. There's a brief flash that no one else notices but you, especially with your high perception. Standing on the other end of one of the portals, you see a beautiful woman with long, slightly curled black hair, wearing a long black gown.
Was that like on purpose? Or did George actually fall?
George actually ran! I was so unexpected!
No.
What happened?
You just have to be.
If anybody that's watching knows how to clip it, Furios, fucking clip that shit, please.
We will. I will. You see a woman in a long black, slightly curled hair with a long black ball gown almost on, a very slim sequined dress, wearing ornate jewelry, and on her right hand, which she has kind of crooked up in the air, in a relaxed pose. You see very long fingernails on her right hand, and each one is a different color, from white, black,
Oh boy.
red, green, and blue on each of her fingers.
Okay, George, come back. George, I know you can hear us.
What the F, George?
How far is the nearest portal?
Really?
I can
15
get
feet.
there. I promise you.
Yep, 15 feet.
Everyone be
I
on
don't see
guard.
anything yet, though.
We have a visitor. And I gesture towards this lady.
Everyone,
Really wish I had disguised self.
everyone turns, and you all see this woman standing over there.
This is Tiamat.
Oh fuck.
Don't let this be Tiamat.
Vale, do you say that out loud?
No.
Okay.
George!
I question everything. Can I stealth?
It steps behind the pedestal of the tentacles.
Nope.
Is that what you're gonna do?
Yeah.
All right.
To hide behind
roll,
Bernie.
Roll a stealth check.
Please fail.
Just turn right eye.
So, I got a question. Did you say we're not past the Beyond Gate? Or the Divine Gate?
You are past the divine gate.
25.
Shit.
All right, 25.
Ooh.
So as you crouch down behind the pedestal, you all watch as Vale sinks down behind it, and this woman staring directly at Vale also kind of goes down sarcastically, watching her, and kind of gets into a crouched position, facing her, looking directly at the pedestal.
Can I,
Vale, I
ready
think-
my bow?
Vale, I know.
Okay.
I think she knows you're here.
Yes, Robot Sapala?
Sorry. Would Paula know who this is?
Make a religion check.
I don't feel like I would.
You might.
Fa-
She's well known.
Can I
Vale.
also know who, try and see if I know who this is?
Elena, you know exactly. No, yeah,
18.
make a religion check.
Okay, don't say those words.
It's
Don't
gender
say
swapped
that.
Vecna.
Vale?
Gosh, dang it.
Vale? Do you know who this
Hello?
is? We can hear you.
Did you hear
Yeah,
my
you
check?
you
No.
you
No.
heard Granny mention. No, you've heard Granny mention the scaled tyrant before, but you're not sure who that is. So I would say that in this context, you don't know that's who that is.
I got a modded.
Okay. I know
Elena,
exactly what I'm gonna do.
Elena, you've heard of the scaled tyrant too, but you know the symbol, but not its correlation to this woman you see before you.
Okay.
Uldoris would like to make an insight check on Vale to see if he can put two and two together.
Okay,
Can I also do one?
sure. Insight checks abound.
Yay.
Oh,
Advantage.
wow, terrible.
'Cause
I'm rolling crap. 7. I don't know
Okay.
nothing.
What's
Okay.
What's my insight? Probably
Hey,
shit.
Cal, I'm gonna forward that photo you sent me.
16.
Oh yeah, sure. Go ahead.
16.
16. Okay.
Vale, why are you
Um,
hiding?
8 and a 15 with advantage.
They'll make a deception check if you don't want them to know things.
Is she real?
I mean,
Is she real?
I just look at Vale.
You hear her sarcastically kind of say, "Is she real?"
Vale, do you know her? See, Paula walks right up to her and
Oh
introduces herself.
God.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh God, Eddie, you thought I was dumb.
I have no idea
You
who
are
she is.
dumb.
What am I also hand her a flower.
As you walk up toward her and introduce yourself and hand out a flower, eyes do not leave Vale at all.
Sapala.
Sapala, get away.
Sapala, get away.
I'm gonna.
Why?
That's the DM telling you.
I go over and I pull Supala away.
I'm sorry. When I said that, the woman in the room says, "Sapala, get away."
She's mimicking Vale.
Oh.
Why is she doing that?
Bernie, grab
Yes.
our new gnome friend there.
Oh, I walked over and did it. Grabbed her.
The gnome.
The
Oh,
gnome,
no.
not the
Not the
halfling.
I'm a
The
halfling.
gnome.
That was George. Come on.
I think that was just him fucking with you.
Look, it's hard to know what people are saying in character and what they're not
True.
saying in character. Okay.
That's why I try to give Xavier a slight different rate of talking. F1, get ready to. Is the portal still lit that we came through?
It's flickering.
It's flickering very rapidly right now, and by rapidly I mean like off, and then off for a couple seconds, then back on, then off.
And is she next
There
to the
is-
nearest one?
She's near one of the broken ones.
So not the one that's active.
Yes.
I don't feel like we should stay here much longer. I think our best way back is the way we came.
That's closed off though.
No, it's not.
The one that we came through is.
It's not.
And it's
It's
flickering.
not.
Oh. I'm not leaving.
Why?
And
Why
And
do
I
why do
point
we have to leave?
we know where they are now. We
I'm
can't
not
get them at the
leaving
moment.
Here.
How
Why
long
do
do
we
you
have
think
to
they've
leave?
been here?
Can I make an insight check on her?
On who?
Her.
Sure. Make an insight check.
Or more to determine if she's an illusion.
Okay.
Is it still insight?
It's a perception check.
Okay. It's the same either way. 19.
You can't tell. It looks like her. It behaves like her. It's standing organically and just staring directly at you. However, still kind of crouched down as you are crouched behind the pedestal.
How far away is she?
15 feet.
Oh, jeez.
I'm throwing a dagger.
Okay. As
From
you,
here.
as you reach into your pocket and go to throw a dagger, you watch as the woman also reaches into one of the folds of her gown, and both of them simultaneously pull out daggers and throw them at each other. And in midair, they one of them a curved dragon-like handle with a golden blade coming up the end, and it passes right through Vale's dagger, and both of them pass harmlessly through each other. The dragon dagger goes right through Vale's chest and impacts into the stone behind. And the other one goes right through Tiamat, impacting into the wall behind.
Can
Oh,
I
shit.
poke the crystal from here?
Yes.
That was quite a heavy pause.
I do so.
You place your hand back on the crystal, and
Oh.
Tiamat's form vanishes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, I know what.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
Vale, who was she?
yeah.
It's
That
an-
was the scaled tyrant.
No, not necessarily. It was just
An
an illusion.
illusion.
I like how you finished my
she's
sentence
not a
before
friend.
even knowing that.
She is not a friend.
Okay.
No, I.
Should have told me
Jeez.
that earlier.
She's the farthest thing from a friend. Think
I'll try
of
to be her friend.
think of a very large gecko
With 5
That-
heads.
She's a dragon.
that eats your internal organs and keeps you alive just so it can laugh about it.
I'd probably try and be its friend first.
So,
No.
if we
Don't.
want to get at, I think one of the best things to do is try to relieve everyone, the members of Vox Machina, from their positions and try to get them out of here.
Oh, one more thing, Vale. While you were holding the, while you were briefly touching the sapphire crystal in the center of the, you could feel Scanlan's presence while you were holding it. You've never met Scanlan, I don't think.
I feel like I need a shower.
Random
But-
question.
For
Sorry,
multiple
when you're done.
reasons.
Random answer.
Is Tiamat's dagger still in the wall?
42.
It is an illusion.
Jesus Christ.
Shut up.
Can I do a medicine check on Scanlan?
Sure. Roll a medicine check.
Can I just go over and break it?
No,
No.
You can certainly try.
you don't know what this does magically. I barely know what it does, and I identified it.
That's especially reckless, even for you, Elena.
Breaking everything will not solve everything.
15.
He's still the same state that Percy was and Gr- at the
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. Thank you.
Can I
But I
pray
can't-
to the Raven Queen like
Did you
Olympian
say something?
prayer this time?
Then yes, I did cut out.
you've been praying, Elena, and going into prayer. You do not feel a connection at the moment.
I'm going to go up to the crystal and
Okay.
touch it.
Go on. Go up to the crystal.
I'm going to touch the crystal.
All right. As you place your hand on it, you see Scanlan's image blurring toward it a little bit, and you feel his kind of presence fill your body a little. And at the same time, you see the scaled tyrant reappear at the other side of the room, with her hand extended the same way she was before.
Is she mimicking me?
She appears to be.
I'm gonna wave.
You all watch it as Xavier. Like, it's not an exact copy. As Xavier puts up his hand and kind of gives a very elbowy wave. Tiamat just lazily waves her hand, just like a little princess wave toward the rest of the party.
I'll boop the crystal again, turn it off.
Can I go and pick up Scanlan?
Yep.
And I'm going to take him to the orb and place his hand on the orb.
And that's
Okay.
how Scanlan died forever. That's okay. It's okay. Sapala can just use true reincarnation.
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 I need everyone to. I'm just kidding. So you place Scanlan's hand on the crystal, and you watch as the crystal begins to pulse blue light, and it seems to grow a little bit. And I was actually just about to do that, so thank you. You hear that pulsing sound, and you pull his hand. His hand kind of falls limp away from the crystal, leaving a blue handprint on Sapphire. There's a brief moment of silence, and it didn't work. And then you hear, as
It's Grog.
fuller breath comes back to Scanlan, he begins breathing more steadily. He has not regained any conscious
But he's
pulling
breathing.
a dice, but he's breathing now. That not the quiet breath that everyone else had. Now a full, labored.
I have a health potion. I'm gonna dump it down his throat and see if it works.
Eat it!
You quaff his unconscious body a health potion. It does not seem to have enough.
Can I do a medicine check?
Yes,
Can we-
I'll make a medicine
I
check.
turned to Xavier and I said, "Can you get the other?"
Oh, 25.
25.
I'm
at
on
this
it.
point, he's breathing. There's fluttering beneath the
help.
eyes, showing that there is brain function going on behind the lids. He's dreaming. You guess that this whole process of being soulless for weeks now has left him tired, and he just needs time to heal. He's still unconscious and probably in a coma, but will recover.
Dude,
Elena?
okay.
It's just a matter of days.
I'm
Elena,
freaking out and holding
shh.
him.
Elena, listen. He just has to rest.
Okay.
Chill.
Okay. Can we get the others,
Real
please?
quick.
Wh-
Real quick.
Yes.
Work on it.
What does Vale know about the abilities of the rest of Vox Machina?
Not very much.
They are gods. Okay.
Nate. Okay.
I just want to
Well,
see
what would
as she says that. I just want to see Keyleth
Can-
quickly
So
shrink
let-
into a fish.
Yeah,
Yes.
right.
Yes.
Can any of them get us out of here?
Keyleth can teleport. Maybe Scanlan. Not
We're gonna
really-
have to bring Grog back here.
Well, as I saw,
Maybe we could bring
That's
the
what I'm
orb with
thinking.
us?
well, unless we are able to break the tentacles away from it, I could possibly.
Can we get them done first and then figure
Yeah.
everything out?
Yes, I'm
We can do that first.
going to try, but we need so much strong up there. The rest of them are a lot bigger than Scanlan.
Bernie.
Fortunately, I
Hi.
Strength.
I could turn
well,
into a giant
but they're
bird.
like 25 feet up, aren't they?
They're 20 feet up, yes.
Let's take
We stand
another
on
rest.
each other's shoulders.
Because I cannot give. We can either take 30 minutes and have Bernie attune to my boots and let him fly, or we can take a rest and I can just have us all fly and we can all.
can we do the 30 minutes?
Do we have a rope?
Yes.
Oh wait.
Everybody has a rope.
Oh,
What
Yeah.
mundane solutions? How dare you suggest such a thing?
But is there anywhere to attach a rope that isn't me holding it?
You ever lassoed?
Them?
The pedestal?
That's true. Let's just do
Bernie?
that then.
The Paula.
Bernie.
I'm just holding this rope.
All right.
Let's
I'll.
build a rocket to go to the next floor. How about the ladder?
That's ridiculous.
I'll take rope and we'll tie him around each of them. I will, as they're pulling, I will be like supporting, getting ready to catch and like slow their descent if they are pulled free.
Are you doing them one at a time or all at once?
One at a time.
Alright.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves here. We're not gods yet.
Just a little bit of meta then. Working together with the setup that you have ordained, it's very easy for you all to yank free and pull down the remaining members of Vox Machina. Percy, Vex, Keyleth, and Pike.
I'm like
starting
attending to them the
try
entire
and
time.
put their hands on the orb.
Okay. And just like Scanlan, all of them, you place their hands on the orb, creating that same pulsing sensation. I need to do a couple of rolls.
I'm so nervous. I'm so nervous.
Somebody was laboring over that typing.
Okay.
They're all dead.
They're all dead.
No, don't
Um,
say these
Alright,
They all,
cool.
things.
Got it.
they all lay on the ground. All five of them. What, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All five of them in a kind of crumpled heap on the corner by the pedestal. And you have all currently rescued Vox Machina.
I'm
Gr-
so
Grog-
enjoying
Grog will be
watching them.
Grog will be fine. He's
They have-
he's been like this before.
I was gonna say, can hardly tell the difference.
I think I'm worried about Grog now. That's all I'm worried about.
Well, so you said it was about the size of a basketball. This life
Yeah.
siphon thing is.
Yes.
So I'm guessing it's probably over 10 pounds.
Yeah, probably.
Well, if
It's made out of rock, so probably closer to 50 or 60.
well if with
Where'd you get
Bernie's
the shiny
help
orb?
we
That's
could
a good
we
thing
could
to
break
use.
these tentacles away and get the siphon out. And then we can bring it with us back to Whitestone and with with all of this teleporting.
Bernie, make a perception check.
Can and will do.
Oh boy.
with
As soon as I find it.
with all this teleportation nonsense, I think I'm putting together how to possibly get us out of here. But I need a rest.
That will be a modded 20.
Mod of 20. Elena, did you tell anyone about the trapdoor?
Yes.
There's a trapdoor in the room?
I don't remember you telling anyone.
There's a trapdoor.
I
in the
don't
room.
either.
You did not. So, just for the fun flavor of this, Bernie, as you're standing up against the wall watching them do the hands on the orb thing, the floor beneath you suddenly begins to slide to the side, and you kind of look down like, what the? All right. And just take a step to the side as you see now slab pulls over, revealing a staircase leading down, down, down. And from beneath, you hear
In the
coming up the
flames
stairs.
Oh.
And you hear.
Okay.
I'm sure it's nothing.
How far away is the open portal?
30 feet.
Is it flying?
No.
Okay.
And coming from
I-
around the corner of the stairs, you see a 15-foot tall ogre-looking creature, but its features are decayed and rotting off its skin. From its eye socket, you see these long stalks that come up to fungal protrusions from the top of its skull. Out its mouth, you see long, pus-filled mushroom sacs coming out of its unhinged jaw. And as it comes up, you just hear its.
Hey, everybody, here's the plan. Grab a partner and run.
No, we cannot. That temple was falling apart. If we put any of them in that temple, it could go down on them.
There's another portal over there. That's probably our best bet.
Push it into the portal.
That's not a bad idea.
Can we do that?
Yeah.
I'm
Where,
gonna hold it here as long as I can while you
Not
people
all my
figure
ideas
out
are
what you're
bad.
doing.
Push it in the
I'm
portal.
gonna try and
how-
tackle it down the stairs.
what,
Oh,
what,
that's
quick,
the
stop.
opposite.
I need to ask a quick positioning question.
Yes.
Where is the portal that we came through? And if it's still flat, if it's still like flickering in and out.
The flickering has practically stopped at this point. It's barely active.
Okay, so where is
uh,
those stairs in relative position to the portal?
Okay, so if you're looking at a clock,
Yes.
the stairs are at midnight. The pedestal is in the very center of the room. The portal that's flickering is at 7 o'clock, and the portal that is open is at 4.
All right. So the portal that we're thinking of
peace
going
sign.
through is the portal we're thinking of going through is relatively well. It's closer.
At this point, the fungal ogroid has now seen Bernie.
Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, only only Bernie.
Only Bernie, because it's down the stairs. It points up to him and
Down the stairs.
and begins charging up the stairs.
I'm going to try and tackle him back down.
Okay.
I'm gonna miss that guy.
Make a strength check.
Same time. Oh, let's just get through the portal with Vox Machina.
Which
We
portal?
need the orb.
We can
We're
always
gonna
come
fucking
back.
get it.
How?
Holy shit! 23?
23.
Jesus.
Bernie, you leap off the top step and slam headfirst into the ogroid. You feel the wet smack of moldy flesh against your cheek as you football tackle him down the stairs. The two of you barrel roll down, 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 and as you land in the next chamber, smashing into the wall, you see around you massive fungal sproutings in the entire room, lining all the walls, and in the very center, a massive tree-sized fungus growing out of the ground.
Oh.
Oh, I'm gonna use a bonus action to cast Expeditious Retreat and boogie back up the stairs.
Can I go
Love
and
it.
hit the door, the button, start like closing
No.
the door
Oh
as
God.
soon as I see Benedictus?
Bernie, what's your movement speed? 30?
It's more, isn't it?
Expedition Retreat
Expeditious,
gives
Expeditious Retreat lets me use dash as a bonus action. Then I can move for my move action, and then I can
Alright.
use a dash as a standard action, so 90 feet.
Make a dexterity check.
Well, and it kills Bernie.
Make a dexterity saving throw, actually.
Woo! +4.
Woo! It's the
Oh,
heckin' mother of the mushroom people.
19. That's +6, so 15.
Ooh, I needed a 14. As you come running up the stairs, Elena, you run over and push the button on the door. The floor begins to slide shut. Bernie, you run, and it begins to get tighter as you're running up the stairway, as the floor is closing sideways across. You are turning your body sideways as you shimmy up against the wall. Step, 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 and you do one final leap just as the floor back
Can
shut
I
over the ground.
break the button so that it can't reopen?
How are you going to break it?
Don't you heckin' break the heckin' button.
With these tools.
Yeah, with these tools.
I mean, caw, caw.
I can't do a pigeon.
Okay, make a thieves tool check. So make a dexterity roll with an edge of proficiency bonus.
The face.
Be the thieves' tools.
I can kill you.
And then, or I just add the proficiency, or what else do I add?
Just dexterity and proficiency.
29.
You effectively make it so that the button up here will not activate the stairs anymore.
Okay, I hope that works.
You can see Xavier over there with that necklace in his hand.
What necklace?
The firewall necklace, the cursed
Oh.
one.
Even then.
I slowly
Okay,
put it
can
back
we
in
leave
the.
now?
Huh?
Yeah,
We
let's
need to
do
get
that.
The orb. Can
Well-
I go and just start trying to break the tentacles?
We move them
yeah.
first.
Yes, let's do that. Gosh.
Bernie,
Alright,
what is
Yes.
down there?
A lot of bad things that I don't want to talk about right now. I grab the orb, I rip it off, let's go!
okay, make a strength check.
Come on,
so
Bernie!
bad right now.
That's an 18 with a +4, that's a 22.
22. All right. With one hand, you walk up and just palm the orb, and like dried coral, the tentacles just snap off, leaving this fine dust behind. You are now holding the orb in your hand, and the entire shake. You
Okay,
hear
grab
this.
person and go through the portal.
Hang on.
No, let him finish.
Let me just flavor for a moment here. You hear
Sorry.
this low, trembling.
No.
Coming from above. Everyone's eyes shoot up to the inverted dome on the center of the ceiling above, and you watch as the bowl-shaped roof of the ceiling parts in the middle, revealing a massive 30-foot eyeball gazing down at all of you.
I'm sorry.
Heckin' go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I grabbed Scanlan.
I grabbed my mom, I guess. I don't know.
Choose,
I can't
Peggy.
grab
This is a
anybody.
telltale choice. You can only save one.
Uldoris will grab Percy.
I'll look at them all and wish I was strong enough to drag one of them.
I don't know.
You're strong enough.
It'd be
Oh,
Keelan and Pike.
Keela's
Keela's
probably
right.
like a wafer, so.
And there's
Oh, yeah.
Then
Pike.
I'll grab
Pike's
Pike
in-
in her full plate.
Yeah, Pike's
That's-
an arbor. I'm not dragging Pike.
That's why I didn't go after Pike.
The only one of you that I need to make a strength check then will be Vale,
Damn it.
because
No,
that's a woman.
hogging
That's a
bastard.
woman your size.
Can I help Vale?
Yeah. Okay, roll that with advantage then.
Dragging.
I imagine
you.
I've got Keela by like her legs and just dragging her head on the ground. I feel like that'd be so Keela.
Should be fine. Should be great.
Oh my god, with advantage.
With advantage.
George.
With advantage.
With advantage.
I
He's
got
like,
you.
I did.
I got you.
That's better. It's not a 1 this time.
Oh my god, George.
Ah, we're about to escape. Time to roll a 1.
Never fails.
Just strength check.
Yes.
Or
13.
13. Okay. So you all start grabbing someone and pulling them through. Now you're pulling them through the active portal or the flickering portal?
Active.
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 I know
Okay.
Hesitantly active.
Hesitantly active.
We have no idea.
All right.
Excuse
all
me,
start-
begrudgingly.
Begrudgingly.
You all start going through the portal as large chunks of rock begin crashing around you as the walls spread open. You now see what looked like tendrils of vines that made up the stone walls. As the plaster peels away, you see these massive tentacles with gnarled teeth-like protrusions coming from the sides, erupting from the walls around you. As you rush toward the portal, one of them slams into the ground, separating Xavier and Elena, but you manage to move around to the side and just duck out of the way in time as another tentacle comes smashing into the ground. Another tentacle smashes on the other side of the room, ripping open the floor as a flood of zombie-like fungal creatures come rushing up the stairs, making ungodly sounds. You all make it through the portal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last one through is failed. Just make it through in time as a massive tentacle slams into the portal, causing it to flicker and sputter out as you're going through. You are once again traveling through the stars. You see the Divine Gate rush toward you, and even for a brief moment, you see the encampment below, where you see hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of people.
Real quick, you're getting really quiet, like in and out.
It's because your brain can't comprehend what you're seeing right now.
Sorry, my the cable on my phone got disconnected. Excuse me. You even see the encampment until you are smashed through the Divine Gate. You find yourself spiraling, tumbling, pilfering your way through the air until eventually you come crashing into unfamiliar, cold stone ground. As your eyes adjust and you look, hear shouts and voices all around. Someone shouts, "All right, break it! Break it!" You hear what sounds like a sledgehammer smashing into stone. Reeling over, you see men, women in platinum plate mail wielding massive weapons that smash the edges of a stone gateway, causing it to sputter and flicker out just as one of these fungal creatures comes through the portal. The light goes out. One of the guards lifts the hammer and smashes, missing the fungus creature who goes lurching directly at Elena.
I'm gonna cast Eldritch Blast.
Okay.
Fireball.
Whole launch.
Ball or
Bolt.
bolt?
Bolt.
Boom! Everyone dies.
Everyone is dead.
Okay, Xavier,
came
or
through
not
the portal
Xavier,
and just
both of you roll
self-destructed.
your damage.
Okay. Well, are you just gonna let us automatically hit, or?
Oh yeah, that's right. They have to hit. Roll to hit.
Yeah. Okay.
First one was a 24. Second one was a 11.
I got a 9.
Those will hit.
19.
So, did you say both hit?
What'd you say? You said
A 24 and a 9.
24 hits.
Or 24 and 11s.
Yeah, 24 hits.
Kayla's so upset right now. Look at her face.
I'm sorry, Kayla.
I can't. I'm muted.
7 points of fire damage from me.
Um, 11 points. Eldritch Blast. Eldritch Blast.
Eldritch Blast.
Eldritch Blast.
Okay. It takes Xavier's firebolt into its shoulder. You see it splatter onto the wall behind. It continues going forward. The Eldritch Blast penetrates through its chest. It continues running forward directly at Elena. As it takes one more step forward, a massive warhammer comes from the female voice you hear shouting that said to smash the gate. Slams the hammer into it, causing it to cave completely in its head and shoulders, smashing through its pelvis.
Oh.
Oh!
Do I recognize this woman?
The woman brushes her hair to the side. You see this dirty blonde but graying hair on a very short, halfling-sized woman wearing platinum armor. turns to the rest of you. Who are you guys?
Do I recognize this person? This is who I think this is?
Do I recognize? No.
I speak up. We are Vera Anaron, and this is Vox Machina,
Most of them.
and I need
I
a
recognize.
map.
You
Who
say
are
Vox
you?
Machina.
Yes.
They always need saving. I'm High Bearer Kima of Vord.
Can I,
Don't
I
Why?
don't know
yell.
if Kima's
Don't yell.
Shh. If
And you are now guests of the Platinum Sanctuary.
We have a
why
bounty for you.
why why is there the portal to that plane here?
That is a long story. One that we are definitely going to discuss as to also why Vox Machina is unconscious on the floor.
And how did you know to destroy the portal just as we were coming?
Because they told us to destroy it as soon as they came back through, and that was over almost a month ago, and we've been waiting.
Can
Oh.
I don't know if Kima's done. I go up and I talk to Kima and I'm just like, I don't know if she recognizes me. I don't know. I'm just so
I'm going to
sure.
say you two have never met, I'm going to
Okay.
say. But,
You're taller than Kima now.
oh,
Yeah.
oh my god, there's two of you now.
Hi.
You must be Elena?
Yes.
Hi.
We all kind of need a little healing and
Yeah,
probably a good night's sleep.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
Sapala.
Who has the thing?
I look over at Bernie.
Right
We can discuss all important business matters at the Platinum Sanctuary after you have all been cleaned up, rested, and bathed. Let's go.
Can someone carry him? He's heavy. I point to Scanlan.
Yes. Yeah. Ha. No, he can just stay there.
Scanlan deserves that.
I take it you two don't get along very well.
At least get him off of me.
Oh, we get around fine. Carrick.
Benedictus is looking straight forward. Benedictus is looking straight forward. One of his eyes is twitching, and he is just muttering a whole bunch of swear words to himself.
Ah,
Uh-oh.
you all right there, Benedictus?
I smashed my face into the side of a creature that was leaking black pus. I need to throw
Black
up.
pus.
I'm gonna cast prestidigitation on his face and clean him up.
As you cast that, Kima's hand suddenly goes up. The spell goes off and it cleans Benedictus, but she grabs you by the wrist.
That's a no-no.
I would avoid casting magic like that in city bounds.
That's right. No.
I didn't know where I was.
You are in Vasselheim.
Okay,
Heck.
I'm now aware. I will not do that.
Wait, is magic
I have a question.
We will have all questions later.
Oh no, this was to
That was-
DM.
Yeah, that was DM.
Okay. To DM?
All
Yes.
questions later.
Uldoris, after calming down, starts to panic again and starts looking around for his shadow.
And you see your shadow back to complete normal. And by complete normal, I mean like not normal, but like
As
actually
normal
a
as it
shadow
could
and
be.
No longer,
Like a shadow.
no longer
It's not
corporeal.
glitching out, fighting
Yes.
itself.
Yes.
I look at it
What?
and I like kind of position myself between it and everybody else, especially like Kima.
Mhm.
Are you
Sorry.
all right, friend? Are you yourself?
It gives you a very discreet thumbs up.
I give it one back. Just-
And that's where we're going to take our break for tonight.
Yeah, he tells him
Yeah.
just follow me normal.
Oh shit.
Oh God.
Oh.
10,000 gold's coming.
Holy cow!
We still have his head.
I did not forget.
Alright, well then we'll be back in 10.
Holy moly!
I need to go pee so bad right now.
Alright.
Stress P!
2,
Stress
1.
P!
Alright, be back in 10.
Oh, you guys,
Wait,
you,
did that
right, so Tiamat killed everyone. And,
That was fun, guys.
We're rolling new characters now.
Praise the scale tyrant.
No. All right.
Praise him.
So, picking up where we left off, Verra Anran has been teleported to another dimension, freed Vox Machina, stolen a strange artifact, discovered the location of a giant fungus, and said, "Fuck this shit, I'm out," and ran.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Appearing on the other side of the Divine Gate back in the material plane at the feet and mercy of High Bearer Kima.
Kima.
High Bearer Kima.
High Bearer Kima.
She got promoted.
Of the Platinum
Pretty
Sanctuary, who has welcomed them and thanked them for rescuing Vox Machina, who the party that they had been stationed outside this portal for the past month, half a month, maybe a month, no, month and a half, waiting for Vox Machina's return, and had with the instruction of destroying the portal upon their arrival. Fortunately, they recognized Vox Machina coming from Anaran and continued their orders to destroy it, allowing only one of the zombies through, who was promptly defeated. Now you are being led out of this system. So what you see now is a room very similar to Drina that is underground and cold and barren, and you see banners of cult activity that have been removed from the walls and are just discarded on the corner, and in their place you see banners of Bahamut placed upon the wall. All the torch sconces have been lit, and you see every 20 or 30 feet a member of the Platinum Sanctuary in full armor standing guard in this area. You see other remnants of what appears to be Knoll housing, Knoll buildings and structures, and other aspects of their life within this cave. And you can easily see that this cavern system had been a Knoll headquarters. They had been and have been subsequently flushed out. As you leave the center room, there's also a altar kind of similar to the one that was in Whitestone. A open square casket where you now see a empty void where some artifact had been and is no longer there. Nonetheless, you are led up a very long staircase leading toward a bright white light, and as you exit the cave system, you are met beside of a mountainside overlooking a massive city, and above the city you see what appears to be a mountain that is crouched over and lay slump, protecting the skies over the grand city of Vasselheim, with its massive wall spires stretching up toward this defeated Titan. Those of you who are aware of the last battle that happened 30 years ago know this well. So Uldores and Sapala are the only ones that don't really know what.
I feel like everyone's heard of it at least.
Yeah, probably.
It's kind of a big deal.
So Sapala, 30 years ago, someone erected a Titan to destroy Vasselheim, and Vox Machina stopped it, and its corpse still stands over top of the city. Its
I had
bones.
heard rumors, but
Oh.
this is incredible.
Truly.
Yeah, well, it's home. So, we're all going to come with me to the Platinum Sanctuary. Anyone have any problems with that?
As long as there's a bed and a meal, I'll be fine.
And a bath.
I start walking.
We have all three. All three. All right.
Where's Vox Machina at the moment? Someone's taking care of them?
We're
Some,
dragging
Yeah, right.
some of you, one of them was being carried. Scanlan was being carried by one of the Platinum members. But if you wish, some other of the Platinum guards come along and start helping carry them outside the cave system. There eventually comes to a cart and horses. Yes, Eldorus?
Two questions. I'm trying to remember in my memory, but I have a sneaking suspicion that Uldores would remember it vividly. Did Uldores' sister ever mention Kima?
Yes. Yes, she did.
So, hearing the name Kima, Uldoris immediately goes to not necessarily hiding who he is, but more trying not to bring attention to himself.
Yeah. You remember
And-
your sister mentioned that Kima was the woman at the Platinum Sanctuary that was who she was assigned to first in Vasselheim. She was sent by Vox Machina to Lady Kima.
Gotcha. So he's immediately going to like try and avert his not avert his gaze, but try to make himself kind of inconspicuous a little bit and busy himself with helping carry Percy. Like he's got one arm of Percy over his shoulder, and somebody else has the other arm of Percy, and he's just kind of trying to busy himself with that, not bring too much attention to his likeness.
Makes sense. All right. So Vox Machina is into the cart. You are all each given horses and begin riding toward Vasselheim. It is a misty, cloudy day outside. You see large, like creatures flying high above the city. As you're not far from the city itself. Actually, probably less than miles or so away from the very edges. And as you come up, you see massive ballistas on the top of its walls that are all pointed out into the forest on the outskirts of Vasselheim. Its massive gate held open, especially as Lady Kima approaches. You hear guards on the walls approach. Hi there, Kima, approaching! Kind of gets shouted down along. As you come in, you see many districts as you go through and signs and bustling life. The city is the cradle of civilization, the dawn of all life in Exandria. And it's prevalent here than anywhere else, where you see every life, every religion that is dedicated to a patron deity walking the street. You are eventually led to the Silver Talon's Reach. This district is dedicated to the worship, and you are led up the steps to Platinum Sanctuary and inside where the scale bearers are. So you're taken inside this kind of ziggurat-like structure, similar-esque in structure to the one in Whitestone, but definitely removed. And brought inside the cliff face where there's a beautiful temple on the inside. You are led down a corridor and into a banquet chamber where a couple of the servant class here district are preparing and laying it on the table. A couple of the guards are already sat at the table and beginning to feast, brought in, allowed to sit down. Lady or High Bearer Kima sits down at the head of the table and faces you all and to enjoy food herself. She hefts her warhammer down and it plunks up against the table and actually knocks over someone's glass. So, who wants to start?
Orb, clunk, meat face. How?
All
Old
right,
meat
so
face.
I mean, that's a good start.
yeah.
This thing
So the
holds
betrayer
souls.
gods are plating something together. I don't
Can we
know
do that
how
thing where we all just talk at once?
Oh,
I
absolutely.
was explaining what was going on.
You tried.
I did.
I don't
May
know
I?
how much my mother and father and the rest of us.
The answer is no. Okay.
told you.
I believed in you.
Okay, that was a lot of things at once. So, starting with the orb on the table, what?
May I?
Yeah.
Please.
It apparently holds souls. If you do just the right thing, you can get somebody's soul out of it. We do not know how to put him in. We need to get this to Whitestone, or we need to get Grog here.
Grog Strongjaw's soul, isn't that?
From
Yes.
what
Hopefully.
from what I gather,
Quite possibly.
from what I gather with how the state the rest of them were in, is very similar to the state that Grog was in,
Well,
or
Precisely.
is still in.
well, this is a powerful fact. Then, might I suggest bringing Grog here instead of transporting a dangerous object across
Whatever
Exandria?
works best.
It's getting Grog here. That is the issue.
If you
We
have,
can have an airship there and back in what, 2 weeks?
Ish.
if
Roughly.
I know it's Vasselheim, but if there happens to be a teleportation circle, I could be there, and
We don't use that form of magic.
that's
I believe it was a week from Amon to Vasselheim by airship.
Yeah, and then a week back.
But they're going to Whitestone. So
Yeah.
roughly 2.5
Two-
weeks.
Yeah, 2.5 weeks.
Yeah. Damn, Percy read his stupid Dex book on that week trip. You know what he did?
Yeah.
Nothing.
So my recommendation, I want to keep this, as you're calling it, safe in the Vasselheim vaults.
go right ahead.
When Grog Strongjaw is returned, we will return to the Orb. We can see about returning his soul to him, but I don't want a powerful artifact like this traveling over the Osmit Sea and across all of Tal'Dorei till it gets to Whitestone. That just doesn't seem right. Too much to go wrong.
Yeah.
All right. So that's settled. We will. I will have a missive sent to send a airship out to Whitestone to collect Grog Strongjaw. Well, the 2 members of Vox Machina who I'd have write a letter to Whitestone are unconscious. So, Helena,
Yes. I'll
perhaps
write the
you
letter.
wish to. Yes. Okay. You know, writing things.
I
Good.
pull up the parchment and I start writing.
All right. Next order of business. What were you doing there?
Well,
Pointing to.
All of you.
It's a
we
group
were.
question.
We
I
were.
thought it was consensual.
We were at the Platinum Sanctuary. We're
uh,
watching that portal, and no one made it past us. How did you get where Vox Machina went?
there's
Well-
more than one portal.
There's more than one portal.
Yes.
Great.
As you
Into
know,
the divine flame.
Elena here is the daughter of Percy and Vexalia.
Obviously.
Name drop.
Eldorez, make a stealth check, by the way.
Are we in dim light?
We are not. This is more of a you're blending into you're trying not to be seen by Kima a little bit. So this is her perception on you.
You mean a deception check?
Just try to not draw attention to myself.
Okay, make it deception if you don't want stealth.
That's better.
Better plus.
It's better for me. 13.
Continue talking. Sorry.
We had seen plans from what cult was it?
Yenagites.
Take your
The
head.
Yenagites when we were doing a job down in
And Drina. Yeah, Vox Machina told me. Percy said you guys had extensive talks with him about the events in Drina.
Yes. Well, we witnessed a blood sacrifice, and then this map appeared on the ground at one of this holy or unholy site, and it gave locations on the map. One was a spot near Singorn, and that's where we went. I think there was another by Amon, and I think one by Vasselheim.
Well, we found the one by Vasselheim.
You did.
Yeah.
Well,
Vox Machina showed up shortly before the Winter's Crest, and they followed in the footsteps of one of my old proteges, Lilette. Apparently has been, well, on a downward spiral. She was a teenager. Found her hideaway, followed her into there, where we discovered a powerful artifact known as Agony.
So you found the artifact.
Well, she apparently found it first. A battle ensued, and Vox Machina attempted to flee through the woods on Winter's Crest. However, some strange tentacle-like protrusions came out of the cave while battling and dragged Vox Machina and a number of my Platinum Sanctuary guards through. They told us if they came back through, to destroy.
The same happened at Whitestone. It appeared Keyleth tried to teleport through the Sun Tree, but that's how Grog came back to us. He was blown through it and landed on the stage. And then
That explosion almost took off my eyebrows.
Keyleth was trying to jump through, but was dragged back by the tentacle, like the rest were from this spot. But after they left, we were able to see either. I believe we either scryed or some way saw them and knew we had to do something.
Glaive spoke to them and told
Who is Glaive?
he's
My best friend.
Another one of our companions, but he is in Singorn currently.
No.
Apparently, he's a soul eater.
He's in Taldori.
He's in Taldor. He's checking up on a few things that we learned along our trip from Whitestone to Singorn.
And he's not a soul eater.
He's my best friend.
Right, I'm sorry. He sold souls.
But,
He sold your souls.
but,
Why do you care about him?
Okay.
Ah!
but what is this?
You don't know him. You don't know his heart.
You all
So-
watch. Kima's
That's a
face
whole
right now
nother
is
thing.
utterly confused.
He's
He's working through some personal things.
Yes, he kind of had a fit of rage in a town near Singorn and was arrested and thrown
That
in
too.
community service for a week, and we couldn't stay there because we didn't know. We just had to do what we had to do. But this now, when she said agony, was she talking about the drug or an artifact?
An artifact.
What is this artifact? Agony.
Agony. What our research in
Oh god,
Vassal.
it just hit me what it actually is. IRL.
Took you long.
It did.
From what our research in Vasselheim has been able to turn up, it is a flail that was used by the betrayer Yanagu. And it is a powerful artifact that was being sought after for some ritual. And as she says this, her eyes fall directly on Oldoretz.
You didn't hide well.
Deceive well.
You look
Well, Doris
familiar.
doesn't know. He's been keeping his eyes averted.
You look very
He's rather shy. Not much of a talker.
I'm sorry. You were talking to me.
She's staring at you, her hand kind of over, leaning over in her chair, in silent, just kind of gazing at you.
He lowers his gaze and immediately becomes a little bit dejected looking. I was worried that you would recognize me. Lulette is my sister.
Well, we don't get to pick our family, do we?
Truth.
I didn't even know she existed until this past week.
About a few days ago.
Where, if you don't mind my asking, if not too personal, where have you been these past 18 years?
Running and hiding. I thought I was being hunted. I was hunted at one point.
You see Lena look down, very sad.
If I'd known you were still alive, we would have sent someone
What, to
brought
finish
you
the
here.
job?
Bring you here just like Lulette was.
I'm sure. You were all quick to murder my parents.
Wasn't me. And your parents were siding with cultists.
My parents were trying to get away from being killed.
Keevan, where are my parents at?
Your parents have been taken to the
They're lying on the ground next to the table.
I hand off the letter to get Grog, and I go to the infirmary.
What is your name?
Who's she
My
asking?
name is Oldores.
Elders, I am so sorry to hear these casualties happen in the pursuit of greater good.
You're cutting out.
Casualties happen in pursuit of greater good.
Yes, it's easy to say, not as easy to have to be on the receiving end of.
You're right.
I'm sorry for what trouble Lulette caused you.
She was a trouble the minute she walked into this sanctuary. Never taking her vows seriously, never upholding our traditions and our rights, and yet she excelled in paladin duties, taking that as evidence that our ways were incorrect, that her proficiencies were a sign from that she was by rejecting us, and she rebelled at every chance she got until eventually she came to the conclusion that she could, and she did was
You broke up there, Cal.
Cal?
where'd I lose you?
I think they were again.
A good bit.
She rebelled into the point where she believed that every action she did was
Was.
the will of the divine.
There we
Oh.
go.
There we go.
Oh.
The statement is complete.
Just make sure your statements like pause every second.
Hi, Bear. I know that was hard to get through. But...
I need a beer.
I need a bear. I'm hungry.
Yeah, she she contacted me. It was, I mean, outside of hearing about her, it was the first I had ever heard from her. She tried to be personable, and I didn't want any part of it. Hearing some of the things that she has done, but she has that air about her. She tries to come off as superior and
Righteous.
Righteous, yeah. And as though I am some monster.
Yeah, we're all monsters. Look at
Yeah,
me.
We had a run-in with her under Drina. She was the one who performed the ritual Xavier was talking about.
I was not present for that.
Oh shit, she was.
Do you not know that?
I have blinked a few times.
Okay.
Plus, that was a while ago.
Yeah, that's fair. I remember because she beat the crap out of me.
Yes, and she also has something else of mine.
What does she have of yours?
Something.
Is it your dignity?
No.
No, that's mine.
No, she has something of a, well, not necessarily mine, but something that belonged to someone I knew
It was mine.
that she killed to get.
Well, we know where she is.
Do we?
Getting to her
Do
is
you?
the issue. Last we saw her, she was walking through that same portal you came out. We imagine she's looking for another portal. Now, you say you found another one.
How long ago was that?
How long ago did we see her walk?
Yeah.
That would have been on Hunter's Crest.
Nah. She.
Were there any? How many portals have you seen?
I believe
3?
there were.
4?
There
Four.
was the one that we came through, which was in a temple to a warrior, a very old warrior named Diamak, and we were able to activate to get through. That's how we ended up there.
I
What
think
was
there
this
was one under Whitestone, wasn't there?
There was one
Yes.
under Whitestone, but it was destroyed. I believe we
Right.
destroyed it.
Yes, we did.
There's another,
Vasselheim, Whitestone, and where was Diamak?
it was
Sorry,
south of Singorn in the very
in Kara
South of
Village.
Singor.
Kira village.
Well, what Percival told the only other one that they were looking for is in Iman.
Yes.
Wasn't there one in
Sounds-
Drina?
Yeah, there was one in China too.
Which has been found. The one in Drina had the locations.
There were
So,
some
I
that
mean-
were. There was one that was open and active, which is the one that we came through. The one that we came through was starting to deactivate. And then there was, I believe, 2 or 3 others that were destroyed. There's 2 that were destroyed and collapsed, and there was another one that hadn't
Had
been
not been
activated. So most likely,
Reopening notes to make sure I don't get.
yes.
So it seems Iman is the only one that hadn't been opened yet.
Sounds about right. We need to, if we're going to stop her from whatever she's doing, we have to go to Amon.
Yes, I know. Wish I could help in that department. I would be able to get us there sooner, but I'm not allowed to use that magic.
Well, we have ships for that reason.
If they are fast enough.
I can get you there in a week.
I don't know if that would be fast enough.
Well, we've slowed him down if
He-
nothing else.
He tries to smile when he says that, and then quickly suppresses it.
Well,
He's trying to be funny.
She is still staring at Eldor, by the way. It's almost a inquisitive stare, like she's studying every aspect of him and seeing how he's reacting.
well, as far as I know, that last portal may be in, most likely is near Iman. There's a few other things that we have to attend to.
Well, if you wish an airship, just let me know. We'll get you a pass to be sent to the air dock in Amman. If you want to find your own way back to Amman, do it outside Vasselheim.
Was going to be stupid enough to do it inside.
You'd be surprised what people are stupid enough to do with these walls.
I kind
Can
of I gesture up. Yeah.
Can only imagine what Fox Machina did around here.
There was this one guy.
Go on.
I think his name was Tiberius.
You hang it, man.
Yeah. Dragonborn, wasn't he?
Like just flying through the city over his heads.
I remember.
There was a lot of paperwork involved in that one, I tell you that.
It's a name I had not heard of. Interesting.
He wasn't around long. So, you go about your bidding. Let me know what you need to do. We'll keep Vox Machina safe here. Yeah,
I do have one order for business.
sure.
I pull out the bounty letter. When we were... Shit, where were we?
We're leaving Drina because it was. There's nothing.
No, it was under Drina. We defeated Varric, the hand that clenches. And we have brought proof of his demise to claim the bounty.
What proof do you have?
Don't remember who has it, but
do.
someone's
You
got
do.
it.
You do.
You do.
I do?
Probably reeks
You
by
have the
now.
bag.
That's right, I've got it.
You have the bag.
I've got something.
was like a.
I
hand or
produce
head.
the evidence.
What is it again?
Don't
It was like
remember.
his head or
It's
something.
the medallion.
Yeah, that's right. It was a
okay.
medallion.
So it's not a body part.
Yeah, it's not a body part.
It's his
You pull-
medallion.
Poor,
I was really worried there. It's like, wait, why is there a head in my bag? That's
Varric's
not mine.
medallion and hand it over, and Kima looks it over. Well, we will honor the original contract as worded. However, you will be interested to know the Tincture of Taldore has a new hand.
So they have.
Gorgoth, the hand that clenches now.
So, does the bounty extend to him as well?
It does.
Excellent.
But we're still gonna get this one.
But she snaps her fingers a couple of times, and one of the platinum guards leaves the room for a moment, comes back a moment or two later with a rather small chest, and hands it to you, Vale. As you lift the lid of this simple wooden chest, inside is 1,000 platinum pieces. I think it is. Is that the conversion?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
10,000,
one
minus
thousand-
1 0.
1,000.
You're gonna hand me 100 gold. It's gonna flip that chest.
So I
And the table.
I look at
What?
Vale. Hey, my loans come in. I want my platinum back.
I'll give him 1 platinum. I'll split it up later. I want to do this here.
While we are here, first that Gorgoth, is it an orc?
Gorgoth
Yes.
is an orc who has assumed command of the orcish armies and is currently leading an assault against your brother, she mentions to Elena, in the dividing...
No, Elena is
This guy
She's gone.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
She bailed.
against Elena's
Gorgoth
brother.
narrowly escaped us outside of Drina.
He,
Well,
yes, he was.
We brought him to within an inch of his life before he fled.
well
He had some very powerful magic, but I was able to not fool.
my reports
disrupt it.
from our sister organization in Taldore have reported that he is also in possession of a power.
Is it so?
So I didn't really want to ask at first. Do they all have their stuff on Vox Machina?
They do.
Okay.
You're gonna say it like
That
that?
sounded like a
I'm-
begrudging. They do.
As he fastens Cabal's ruin. Yeah, this is nice.
No, I was only wondering because they might have stolen them.
Yeah.
Those might have been the powerful artifacts they were wielding around.
And they still had them. They still had them.
Okay.
So there's still
Which he
time.
may or may not have.
So hunting down this new hand is a bit of a personal vendetta. On another note, after a night's rest, I think we might do for some resupplying while we're here. I
Absolutely.
don't know what services you offer, but we're short on supplies.
The whole of Vasselheim is at your service. There's a incredible forge district if you are looking for weapons, armament. There are temples to everyone and a marketplace where you'll find all kinds of goods and services. But there's one more thing on the table that I want to discuss with you. We need to figure out what artifact is at Amon. Here at Vasselheim, there was the flail known as Agony. At the place you said you fought Drina, or Diamak. Guys? Drina.
Fought all of
Diamac.
Drina.
And the
There's
only
none left.
artifact I know of Diamak are the wraps of Diamak, a staple of the Platinum Sanctuary. And we have reports that Gorgoth is in possession of a massive eyeball that he has affixed to his head.
That's gross.
Something that his followers are calling the ruined eye.
Well, there was an eyeball where we just came from.
There was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a very big one in the ceiling.
Well, as I am aware, if my train of thought is any consolation, the eye of the was taken at the Battle of Whitestone.
The Eye of what?
The Ruiner. Betrayer god. Shot out by the Archar. I believe that is what Gorgoth is in possession of. What connection to the betrayers do the Raps have?
Tiamat.
They're staying with Tiamat's blood.
Tiamat and the Ruin. There's only one more. 3. Orcus.
And what would Orcus's be?
The only artifact I know of Orcus are either his horn, which we have locked up safe here in Vasselheim, or his mace, Wand of Orcus.
Yeah, he has a wand.
I wasn't gonna say it.
I think it's called the Wand of Orcus. Is that what it's called?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I actually have a lot of knowledge about the Wand of Orcus. If you would let me roll for it.
Why doesn't that surprise
go,
me?
Go ahead.
That was a weird way to ask if I could roll for it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead and roll. Go ahead and roll.
You know, I could inform you
I could inform.
if you
What I
let me
know.
roll for it.
I just want to make sure I said the right thing, because as soon as it came out of my mouth, it didn't sound right.
Oh, holy crap. That is a 22.
Yeah.
Man, Bernie, you want to
Bernie.
do stuff.
Bernie has researched the Wand of Orcus.
Yeah, I bet he has.
Makes sense being here.
What do you know of
The Wand of Orcus is one of the most dangerous artifacts that I have ever looked into. On the top of it is the skull of the only paladin to have ever bested Orcus in any sort of contest. If you want to kill Orcus, you have to get that wand, you have to take that skull, and you have to resurrect that paladin.
Heckin' resurrection.
Reincarnation.
Hey, guess what wand it probably is? Right by Orcus.
I'm so excited. I have never been more excited in my entire life than this one moment.
What about the tree?
Okay.
What about the tree?
Well,
Then
I'm
it's
sorry.
decided. You will resupply and head to Amon and see if you can discover the location of.
there is. Well, there was
Oh.
a marker on Drina.
There's a what?
The marker on Drina where they activated the first, I believe the first portal.
Okay.
What was Olor's sister's name again?
Lilith.
Did Lilith have a dagger with her?
No. Not that I'm aware of. She always preferred heavy.
Well, we saw her use a dagger to activate the portal in Drina.
Anything like that, she didn't get here.
Obviously, because the dagger she had was from my friend. Just wondering if you possibly knew if she had it.
I'm sorry. I don't. But if it's within my power, I will retrieve.
Please, it's her family really wants it back.
You have my word. If you defeat Lilith, you have free reign of any possessions she has.
Damn.
She is no longer.
I look over Eldoris. Are you okay with that?
Uldoris has been kind of zoning out. Just kind of looks up and, what? Yeah, sure. That's fine.
Can I insight check him?
Yeah, go ahead.
Powerful artifact that gives me an advantage in insight. It has +1 insight. 18.
Oldoris, are you
What are
going to
you
do a
trying to-
deception? Or...
What are you trying to get from him?
If you're really just like spacing out, or if you have just the general feel about that statement.
He was legitimately spacing out.
Okay.
He's just been replaying like little bits and pieces in his mind of everything that's been happening, the things that Kima's recounting that Lulette has done, all the pieces on the board. He's a little overwhelmed, and he's just kind of.
I will look at Kima. It's like, I do have another question.
Of course.
I haven't researched airships a lot. I have researched the magic about them, but are they only able to dock at airports, or can they land in other places that don't have these specific?
They don't necessarily land other places. They require special docking mechanisms to hold them. However, they can anchor over locations, and you could descend other ways.
Okay.
Why? Planning on making a detour?
Not necessarily. Well, yes, but wondering if instead of being dropped off at Iman, or at least have us dropped off, one of our we would like to get our other party member. He is waiting for us. If there's a way.
One from Singorn?
Yes. If we would be able to go to Singorn instead.
Yeah. You could probably drop a rope.
Yeah, we can tell him.
If that would be.
You guys tell them that we're heading to.
If that's true. There is another spot I'd like to hit. If we just go to Singorn, we can travel that way to Amon. There's another spot I need to hit.
No, the airship is going to be on a set schedule, so you would have to find if we book it, it'll go straight to Amon. If you want to book it personally, then you can take as many detours as you want, but that's up to the pilot and what cost they want you to go by. I can't speak for.
Okay. All right, I appreciate the info.
Of course. You're welcome to stay as long as you need. There are always rooms here at the Platinum Sanctuary.
I would like to get some rest. I've been beaten and battered. I think we all have.
Very well.
I glare at Elena.
She's
Elena.
not.
No, you
That's why
don't. She's in
not
the
here.
other room.
Never
You
mind.
glare where she was sitting.
Yeah, there we go.
There's some poor guy sitting against the back wall going,
What
"Me?
the fuck?
What do I do?
No.
I'll try to. I'll be escorted to a room if.
Okay. And if anyone has nothing else they want to say,
Fine. Say. Are you wrapping up the episode or?
I was considering wrapping up the episode.
Oh well, then I've got stuff to do. I got stuff to do.
What do you got to do?
Well, I'm gonna bother Xavier for a bit.
Now I know how you feel when you're trying to read your book.
That's right.
So you adjourn yourself from the dinner table and head over towards Xavier.
Yep.
Okay.
Yes, Phil. You had that walk towards me like you were going to talk to me.
Well, come on. Walk and talk. Where we headed?
I was headed to a bed.
Sure. Pick a room. Here's 100 platinum.
Oh. Okay. Thank you.
And I'd like you to identify these wraps.
With pleasure. I will grab them, and it'll take just a moment. Make sure there's no guards around.
That's why I wanted to go somewhere else.
So I will sit
Shithead.
down, lay them on the floor, and start.
He trips the wards.
The wraps explode, killing both of us.
That's how I want to go out.
Alright, I'll cast Identify on the wraps. Cal? You're muted.
Oh shoot! Shoot. All right. So
Oh no,
make
the
your way-
wards.
Make your way down the hall into a secluded and cast Identify on the rats. Now,
Identify!
as the rats sit harmlessly on the floor, between the two of you. They don't seem to have the same luster that they had when they were on Dymac himself. And as you cast Identify, you identify them as the Wraps of Dymac.
Wow.
So,
While wearing them, you have a +1 bonus to attack and damage rolls with your unarmed strike.
dormant.
Whenever you finish a short or long rest, you gain a number of temporary hit points equal to your full key point.
So it's dormant state.
Also, though, I will add, they're not attuned to anyone.
Yeah.
Well, I can say this: they aren't attuned to anybody, so he is hopefully. Well, we still have to take care of that scepter.
Right.
They'll make your punches more effective, i.e. +1. And they seem after you rest with them on, every time you take a good long rest, it appears they bolster your physical health for a time.
That sounds useful.
For someone like you, it does. I will pick them up and hand them over.
Ow.
My brain just went to, do you mind if I smash this phylactery here?
Go right ahead. We're not in that temple anymore.
We hope that doesn't matter. Vasselheim just starts shaking. The Earth Titan falls over.
I mean, go ahead and give it a try.
Accidentally destroy Vasselheim.
Boom! Just imagine you
That
like
would be
spider punching.
super
Like,
awesome.
we hear a distant a very very distant explosion.
Boy, I hope no one wandered into that temple looking for us. To be
Oh, no.
real quick, Laura and Ananduel came with us, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
They've been very quiet.
Very quiet.
Okay,
They
good.
help distract the bodies.
Sure. I will attempt to break the phylactery.
Okay,
Again.
roll to hit.
It's what
Key
it was.
drain.
Is band key or steel key?
Yeah, yes, it basically just hit it.
Oh God. What if I missed?
Natural one.
Smack,
That'd be super.
smacks your
Die,
own,
Xavier.
smacks
You are
your,
possessed by Diamond.
no, smacks your own thigh.
18.
And you start just
18? All right.
endlessly
And now
cycling your own key.
And roll me a
Percentile, right?
percentile die. Yep.
Woo. 99.
Whoa!
Oh,
And Vasselheim's gone.
Okay. So you look Xavier in the eye. You look at the scepter in your hand. You position your hand to shatter it. You slam your fist into it, and there is just this spark of green energy that just expands into the room, and you hear this really, really loud that exhales into the air as the orb expands and knocks both you and Xavier off your feet and into the wall. Both of you slam into the wall.
we're just pushed back again.
It kills us both.
Both of you take 6 points of bludgeoning damage.
Ooh.
Ooh!
That's not bad. I can survive
The furniture is knocked over, the bookcases scatter, the desk completely ripped in half from this impact. Papers go scattering around, and you both lay on the ground. But between you is the shattered scepter, completely broken in 5 different pieces. Out in the hallway, you hear, "What was that?"
Put it away. Put it away.
There's suddenly a pounding comes to the door.
Just
Everything all right in there?
Everything's
Yep.
fine.
it. Yeah, just chipped over the nightstand.
The door handle
Several times.
the door handle rattles a couple times. We're trying to open the door. We heard a noise.
Yeah, I look about. Look to the nightstand.
What does that mean?
Back over the nightstand.
It's below your camera. I can't see it.
Back over your nightstand. Back over the nightstand.
All I can picture in my head is Harrison Ford going, "No, everything's fine in here. How are you?"
I'm quickly scooping up. I quickly scooped up the pieces and put them back in my bag of holding.
And just as you do, the door opens and you see one of the platinum guards comes walking in. Is everything? What the hell happened in here?
I fix my hair.
I tripped over the nightstand. I'm sorry.
The room is trash.
Make a deception check with disadvantage.
Aw.
What?
Well,
What are
Vale's good at
both?
Both.
Whoa, easy there. Why am I rolling a d10?
Trying to give yourself worse odds.
I don't think I can roll Serenade.
Never
for
tell me the
this.
odds.
I'm gonna roll Xavier die.
I should have rolled the Veil die.
Oh, on the table. On the table. Not good.
Not good.
Oh,
I don't know why I rolled the Veil die.
I don't know why I rolled the Xavier die. 11.
1.
Oh
jeez.
no!
So he looks at Vale. He looks at
Insane.
Xavier. Looks at the two of you. Looks at the destroyed bed.
We get wild.
So you're saying my deception worked?
You have failed successfully.
He just
He thinks you're kinky.
he stares unblinkingly at you and just kind of like rolls his eyes back.
Kick the chains under the bed.
You're gonna be billed for that, and just turns around and walks out.
I really hope Elena hears about this.
We speak of this to no one.
Maybe we should have told him the truth. We freed a lich. What if he would have believed it?
Well, he definitely didn't believe your lie that you tripped.
Oh, I didn't say I tripped.
See, so my mind first went to that. I was like, we're indecent.
You know it's never good when that's the lie. or that's what they say.
Yeah, what Ajax
Alright.
said in the chat. I would have yelled sex.
All right. Does anyone else have something they want to do?
Sleep, level up.
I did, but it can wait.
All right. Sapala?
Talk to Kima.
Yes,
All right.
I did.
What would you like to do, Sapala?
I wanted to do the same thing.
You wanted to bang in a room and destroy the furniture?
No.
No, buddy. Talk to Kima.
Oh, all right.
Paul
So,
throws a rager.
So after
I
dinner,
just-
both you and Benedictus approach Lady Kima. Yes.
By all means, go first.
Hello, I'm Sipala.
Hello, Sapala. I am High Bearer Kima. It's
It's
a
nice to
pompous
meet you.
title.
And Sipala gives her a big hug.
Oh, not oh, one of those. Okay, hi.
Will you be my friend?
Sure. How much sugar have you had today, sweetie?
None.
Okay. Over your head, she gives a wink to Benedictus.
Hi.
Interpret that how you will.
Oh, never mind. You have no humor. Yes, I will be your friend. But just be warned, I am married.
What does that have to do with anything?
Ironically,
I don't know.
Ironically, to somebody who practices arcane magic.
I mean, cool.
That's all. I just wanted to introduce myself.
Introduction made. I absolutely appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Oh,
Have a good
okay.
night.
Sure.
Sipala just skips away.
I am so confused. Bernie, what was that?
That was a very hyper halfling.
Reminds me of some others.
Nope. But I need to talk to you about what I found out about their other teammate, and I closed the door. Fuck. Apparently, he sold.
You could have.
Lost
You
you there.
broke up.
Or a devil. Or something of the world.
It's a sign.
Am I going in and out?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I got most of that. Wow.
Well, long story short, I spilled the beans that Elena spilled to Bernie.
Well, Benedictus, you know what needs to be done then.
Snitches get stitches. Elena.
I'll be on that ship with them whenever they go get Glaive.
Good.
I heckin' heck.
I like that it looks like AJ's main goal right now is to kill himself. We're all like, don't you dare. It's like, wait a sec.
Wait a second.
This is completely in character.
No,
I'm
it's great.
sorry.
It's great.
If this is true, Benedictus, bring him to justice.
I will. I unlock the door and I take my leave. This is gonna be terrible.
You open the door and walk out, and Kima turns around and goes, "This isn't my room," and walks back out.
Just boulder into a room.
Leave. I live here.
All right, Elena. Anything else?
I'm just gonna sit in the infirmary. My parents awaken, I guess, or somebody disturbs me.
Yes, let me check on that.
You rang?
Real quick. What time was it, or is it?
Oh God, now I have to
That was a
pick
good
time
question.
Zone.
We went in to the temple mid-morning.
Afternoon. Been a couple hours in the temple,
And
which
then-
means it's probably early morning.
All right.
Hey!
So
I told her to have a good
can
evening.
can I make a quick check to enchant those bracelets?
Make a roll. I gotta mark off another day on the calendar.
Arcana check. 30.
So many things I want to do.
Yep. So you're getting a little closer. What percentage did I put you?
I can't remember what you said.
Come on, you write
90.
that shit down.
I mean, I think I did. I don't have my book open. I dropped everything. I think you said like 25% maybe. That was from a while ago there.
How am I gonna kill myself?
I think you
With
You're not.
extreme prejudice.
My recommendation: give Sipala control of Glaive.
Ooh.
I think you said like 25% or something.
All right, add another 25.
All right, so halfway there. We're halfway there.
Living on a prayer.
Whoa.
Well?
If he,
I hope you do it well.
Squeezing on a chair.
Good colonization.
All right.
All right.
Then I go to bed.
With that,
Wait.
I think it's time for everyone to go to bed, and that's where we
No,
will.
wait.
Wait, you didn't
Wait.
tell us if they woke.
No, they did not wait.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
I'm not done.
All right, Vale.
No, we can go.
What do you want?
I just wanted to give Sapala my staff
So in the hallway,
and her platinum.
as you leave the doorway,
She's still,
you know what?
Vale still looks like fucking wild, messed up because of the black.
Yep. You run into Sapala in the hallway, skipping by, trying to find
Fix
what
my hair.
her.
Oh, hey, Sapala.
Vale, what happened to you?
What? Oh, we broke the thing.
The thing.
Yeah,
Septic.
actually, we broke a lot of things.
We're gonna be charged for it.
Here,
What does that mean?
this is your platinum.
Oh, platinum.
Here's 100. And
Thank you.
I guess. Do you want to hold on to Glaive's share, or do you want me to just put it with the
Yeah.
rest of his stuff?
Put it with the rest of the stuff.
Okay.
Schling.
Okay. Also, I got this staff in Singorn, and I think that you might be able to get a little bit more use out of it than I have.
All right.
I understand it's like twice your height, but
I mean,
supposedly those things work themselves out.
it's magical, so it should adapt to her height.
But it's magic, so.
Okay. Is it special?
Yeah, it's magic.
Then you explain to her what it does.
What kind of magic?
Special
kind.
magic.
Special. Thank you.
I can send you the details.
I assume it's the sky.
Yeah, the Skyblinder staff.
Skyblinder. It's a staff that gives like a plus something or other to regular attacks, but you can also slam it on the ground, and it blinds flying creatures that are attacking you and gives them disadvantage on rolls.
And it's +1 to spell attack rolls too.
Oh, that too.
Which is why I think you probably get more use out of it than I have. Because I've literally only been using it for the whacking damage.
Oh, man, I could also
Fancy. Well, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I got special staff.
It's really pretty too.
I have more money to give out.
All right, you can do that next session.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, Doris spends most of the night in the dining hall, staring at the table.
Good, I know where you find you now. Well, actually, if you were there, I probably would have left your 100 platinum.
Since he was in the dining hall, does that mean he heard Bernie's conversation?
No.
Even if he heard it, he wasn't paying attention.
Yeah.
Does he take the 100 platinum?
Partway through the afternoon, Kima comes up to you, Doris. You all right? She sets a mug of beer on the table next to you. Don't.
No.
He's quiet for a few minutes, and then he takes the beer and he drinks it, seeming like all in one go. Doesn't even.
Oof, that's a good pull.
Puts the mug down and slides it down the table. I keep hearing about this prophecy, and from what I saw in that temple, it seems to be coming true. We have left a people to their fate. People we promised we would help. We have fled the divine realm. I, for some odd reason, have agreed to help reclaim Vox Machina, the very people that, well, you know. I am now on a hunt to kill my sister and face betrayer gods. There's so much I don't understand. So many things that don't make sense, no matter how they're spun. And I feel like I just have to follow along. I've always been looked at strangely. I know half the reason, and he looks down at his shadow.
She kind of eyeballs under the table. Looks back up to you.
And I guess that's where my confusion comes in. I'm supposed to be a light bringer, when all I know is the shadows. I feel like everywhere I go, I'm making things worse, and all I'm trying to do is make things better.
Do you write poetry? Because, God, that was depressing.
Well, seems I've had an effect on you too. Guess I
But-
should take my leave.
But things that make you sad also remind you how great things are when you're happy. Wouldn't you agree?
I guess, but it still doesn't answer the questions. And I feel like that's what everything is right now, is just questions. Questions, questions, questions.
So, first of all, slow down. We need to get you another beer. She gets up, goes over to one of the kegs that are lining the dining hall, and pours another draft, sets it down on the table in front of you.
He immediately downs it. He doesn't even care if it makes him sick or anything. He just gulp, 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 gulp.
I'm gonna keep pouring these as fast as you can drink them.
I have to warn you, I don't know if I can hold it.
Oh, that sounds like a challenge. She pours
Eldor is
herself
not
one. She pulls you.
alcohol poisoning.
She pours another one, puts it on the counter in front of you. She drinks one herself as you go, and I'd like you to make a Constitution saving throw.
No, wait. I'm 2 ahead of you, so you have to have another one.
Ah.
I'm
She,
getting off that easy if you're going to challenge me.
She pours another one. You are now both at the same level of insobriety.
And now you want me to make a con save?
Con save on. We're both rolling a con save on the third one.
Goose fight.
Okay. Is Bernie anywhere near?
No. Bernadictus is no.
17 actually.
All right, you're good. You're sober. Well, not sober. You're getting drunk, but you're not unconscious
For now.
for now.
The first thing that happened to me when I met Elena's father,
Yeah.
he took me into his workshop,
Uh-huh.
and he used one of his contraptions, one of his gizmos on me. Manners, he called it. And he started talking to my shadow. And I watched this man who I've never met get more answers out of my shadow than I ever have, and I've lived with the damn thing my whole life.
Percival's a dick.
I hope I get to tell him that to his face someday.
Can I be there when you do? I got to be there when you do.
You know
If
where
he ever wakes up.
is.
Oh, he'll be fine. He's too much of an asshole to die. You know, I have a theory I've been playing around with here. You said that you do shadows, right?
I do.
Show me. Show me. Come
Eldorus kills Kima.
Mhm.
on. We're day drinking here. You might as well show.
Touch of death.
So he stands up and looks down at the shadow and says, "You can stop the act." She knows.
It very slowly kind of moves over to the. Well, that's a thing.
Yeah.
She gets up, she goes over, she pours another drinks. Okay. So, theory, idea, question, thought. This prophecy. It's really specifically worded and really convolutedly stupid. Right?
That's one way of putting it, yeah.
Fucking hate prophecies.
Yeah, me
bullshit.
too.
They're bullshit. But it refers more to heart. It says one pure as soul, and one the heart is black as coal. And now we thought it was, more obvious. The one of light is the one obviously of light, and the one of dark is obviously the one of dark. But if it's the other way around, and we're looking at the soul, Lilette is an asshole. And not like the redeeming kind of asshole that Percival is, but I'm talking about the asshole that would kill puppies.
That
You-
is a bad asshole.
I've been watching you since dinner, or breakfast, or whatever time of day it was. You don't seem like an asshole. And that puts into perspective, she reaches over to the wall and she picks up the torch and she casts light on the torch, and the torch burns incredibly bright, and you have to shield your eyes from how bright it gets. And she goes, "What do you see?"
Right now, the inside of my eyelids, it's pretty damn bright.
Yeah, you can't see anything, can you?
No.
I would consider that a form of darkness when it's so bright you can't see. She lets the brightness fade, and you can see again. And now she places her hand in front of the light and projects a shadow on the wall. See, in order for there to be a shadow, there has to be a pretty good light behind it. In order for you, she starts making bunny ears with her fingers. In order
Yeah,
for
I
you
can
to
do that
cast,
too.
she looks over as your shadow starts moving and doing the cheater.
It's not me, it's him.
I think you focus the light, and by focusing the light, you cast a shadow. Your sister blinds people with the light and creates darkness.
That's the best theory I've ever heard.
What do I know? I'm 4 drinks in.
What do you do when your shadow starts to fight itself in the divine realm?
What?
He's also 4 drinks in.
I know we're 4 drinks in, but I've never seen it before. It was like it was being torn in two, fighting itself and then coming after me.
I guess at that point you need to have a conversation with your shadow, and that's a sentence I did not think I'd be having today.
And I turn around and I look at the shadow and say, it'd be really nice if it talked once in a while.
You watch your shadow literally and figuratively shrink, kind of pulling in on itself and
Yeah,
and
you hang
hunching
your
its
head.
shoulders, hanging, and it also decreases in size.
You hang your head in shame.
Wow.
Yeah, like I said, Percy got more answers out of it than I did. I don't even know if is it me? Is it my mother? Is it my father? I don't know. Is it just some force of I don't know. Elena talks about the she talks about this Raven Queen. And apparently she deals with shadow and all kinds of stuff and my abilities are more than just puppet shows. And he brandishes his weapon. It just kind of slowly manifests in his hand, just like fading in, like it looks like smoke rising off a candle, and it just kind of fills itself in from bottom to top in his hand. And my powers seem to come from there. And he poofs it out just as quickly as to not alert anybody else that he's doing weird things. And I don't know, is my shadow some aspect of her realm? Doesn't make sense.
Dolores, you need a break.
I have been on the go ever since my parents were taken.
That was like 15 years ago.
Was that only 15 years ago?
I think so.
I don't know.
I'm like 80. I lose track of time. Dolores, there's many questions in this world, and some of them you'll never get an answer for. The only way you'll ever be happy is if you learn to just be a dick.
So don't be an asshole. Be a dick.
I mean, look at me. I'm a dick. I'm pretty happy. I tell people how it is. I don't sugarcoat it.
See it, but I don't know. Maybe you're right. And he takes the other, downs his beer.
Make another con save.
Another 17.
Getting closer though. By which I mean the DC is going up.
I gotcha.
Don't be a dick. Don't be an asshole. You just gotta learn to be happy with who you are. You got that. Not all questions need an answer. I don't know why I fell in love with my wife. By all rights, I probably shouldn't. But damn, do I love her. All right.
I guess.
Is there an answer to that question now?
It helps a little bit.
The longer I look for an answer, the more depressed I'll get.
So now I just have to figure out what the hell to do with my.
I'm not sticking around for that one. I'm gonna go drink. And she gets up and very drunkenly, because I roll terribly, stumbling, grabs herself another beer, which she sloshes aside. Here's 1 o'clock drinking. And I think that's where we'll end tonight's session.
Yay!
Oh my gosh. We
I'm
did
so tired
die!
right now, guys.
This time.
Elena died.
Yeah, she had it coming.
How many times in the in-game past 2 days?
4.
4 now.
Know my pain.
So
Feel my
Half
pain.
of them
I
were
got-
self-inflicted.
I really do feel like the more often you hit 0 hit points in a 24-hour period should automatically give you a death fail.
No.
No,
No.
no. It should make her more paranoid.
That's what it did to me.
Add a sanity stat.
Yeah.
I'm overcompensating with AC.
Oh, actually, we're gonna go ahead and go off the air, which I assume.
Oh yeah.
So good night.
Bye.
Bye.